Now in Apac North, a historical change took place. After 3.5 years, UKF has left Fnatic. This was the 5th longest tenure with a single organization in ALGS Pro League history. Now he has built a new roster, backed by Zeta Division, one of the top Japanese orgs who have re-entered the ALGS with UKF to create the next big team in Apac North. UKF reunites with former teammate Suzuki. Alongside them is Mike, who had made a name for himself this past year with a first place finish in Pro League during Split 1. The only accomplishment Yuka's resume lacks at this point is a LAN victory. Can one of the most storied players in the history of the game finally accomplish the goal he has chased for so long? After a year with Fnatic, Libel Ace now finds himself fully established within the Apac North pro scene. Once viewed as an MNK prodigy, he is now a full-fledged veteran and ready to join one of the region's most accomplished IGLs, Leica. Their third will be controller player Momon, who has competed since 2020 and has been on multiple LAN rosters such as Riddle Order, Reignite, and Fennel, but is yet to break through to a finals. This Grow Gaming roster is absolutely one to keep an eye on as an Apac North dark horse. Many expected this roster to run it back after placing 3rd and nearly taking home the ALGS championship, but to the surprise of many, long-term player Illy posted that he was looking for a new team, and the rumblings of something big happening were coming out. Obly, the man who dethroned the dynasties in Los Angeles, delivered Apac North its only LAN trophy and became the first team besides TSM and Dark Zero to win, has returned. Joining his former teammate Juicena, he looks to rekindle that chemistry alongside the young gun Synap up front. Alongside Obly, E36's veteran Aimbot is back as well, slotting in as the backup to assist the team, but if needed, can absolutely step into sub. If Obly can recapture the form that led him to be the first IGL in the region to win, the team will be a massive threat to not only take Pro League, but lift the Split 1 playoffs trophy. Now, all of that roster mania is fun, but one of the most exciting parts about Year 6 is the new introduction of the roster transfer window rule. Before the Pro League even begins, rosters have to be finalized and locked. These rosters remain locked until after match day 6 of the Pro League has concluded. Then, a 3-day transfer window will open, where teams are permitted to make changes. This change should bring more stability throughout the ALGS, and see few roster moves during the split. Now to wrap up, let's discuss what our teams are competing for. This Pro League will have each squad playing 6 series in a triple round-robin format across 9 match days in the split. Following this, the top 20 teams overall will have earned their spot in the regional finals. The regional finals will utilize the match point format, and it functions as a 7th match day, earning teams points towards the overall Pro League standings, but with a twist. The winning team, regardless of their final Pro League placement, will automatically qualify for the Split 1 playoffs at EWC. For the Split 1 playoffs at EWC, Americas will have 13 allocated slots, while Apac North, Apac South, and EMEA will each have 9. VK Gaming has automatically qualified for the Split 1 playoffs at EWC as the mid-season playoffs champions last year, and will look to defend their title. Each of these 40 teams will head to Riyadh to compete once again for ALGS glory and write their names in the history books forever. Finally, at the conclusion of the Split 1 Pro League, the bottom 8 teams will be relegated to the Pro League qualifiers, where they must defend their position against the top performing Challenger Circuit teams from Split 1 to earn their place back into the Split 2 Pro League. You should also head over to algs.ea.com for the full Pro League schedule, standing, stats, and even more. And well, I'm Jumba. That's a wrap for this ALGS rundown. Make sure to catch all the Pro League action at Play Apex on Twitch or Play Apex Esports on YouTube.
Hey everyone, it's Dia here, and I've got a very special update to share with you all. Heading into Year 6, the ALGS team have been working hard behind the scenes to make the viewing experience better than ever. Let me show you around the newest addition to the ALGS website, the ALGS Multiview. After signing in with your EA account, you'll be able to watch up to 12 streams at once during every single ALGS event. Each team has its own dedicated observer and comms that you can listen to. Viewers will even be able to vote for which player's POV they want to watch. You can customize your layout, add custom Twitch streams, and even draw over them with built-in tools. Team and individual stats will be easily accessible in the sidebar, updating in real time. And just like on Twitch, you can clip your favorite moments as they happen. And yes, you are still eligible for Twitch drops. Now keep in mind that the ALGS Multiview tool is still in beta, so as we continue improving the experience, we want your feedback. Please share it using the button that you'll find in the bottom right of your screen. Now this tool is free to use, and it'll be available for every single ALGS event. So log on, find your favorite POVs, and tune in for the best viewing experience that ALGS has to offer.
Let's settle it. Look at the life that we relish, I'm telling it. I'm the star of the show and the regiment. Can't stop me, bro, ain't no pedaling. Ain't no riding the wave. Staring right in your face, you know where I'm getting it. This ain't back in the days. Get ready for more and more, ain't no meddling, no. Gotta know what my head is for sure. I had a show when I was young, I had my back on the ropes. Looking like I never had her on roll. In school of hard knocks, I get hard drops. Got drive even when the car stops. I don't ask it if they let me, ain't no get ready. When you stay ready, let's go.
Welcome back to the Apex Legends Global Series. We are back after an exciting match day 1 in EMEA, and now we are kicking off Year 6 Split 1 of Pro League for the Americas. My name is Glitter Explosion, and I will be your host for today. With me, we still have Spider Tip and Jamerson. Tiff, are you ready for another region?
Put me in, coach. I'm ready. Look, it's been an absolute blast. We covering EMEA earlier, like you said. I can't wait to see what Americas is going to get into, because if wild is anything to be said, you know it's going to be exactly that.
Yes. Jamerson, any expectations for today for Americas?
I mean, I'm just super excited because, you know, Rain and them have Aurora versus Alliance tomorrow, but we have Falcons versus Team Liquid today. And I'm pretty sure that's the headliner everyone's looking forward to.
Okay. I love
Another
it.
day, another Alliance mention.
And, you know, the defending champs, we've got Oblivion in here as well. So lots to talk about here today. Okay, it's going to be a really fun day. And we're going to start things off today with some really exciting news as well. I mean, you could have potentially seen this on social media already, but in case you missed it, our Year 4 ALGS Champs LAN was nominated for a Sports Emmy. Wow. Isn't this epic? Isn't this epic?
Wait, why is this my first time seeing this? Not the Emmy nomination, but this heirloom status version of it. Hello?
Honestly, this is insane because, like, the competition there, Call of Duty, like, you know, World Championships, League of Legends, Valorant. So just to be amongst them is insane. But we did have an amazing year for Sapporo in 2025. And the crew did an amazing job. Just behind the camera, in front of the camera, everything. The production value was insane.
Yeah, shout out to everybody behind the scenes, and a huge thank you to all of you at home for all of your continued support as well. Who knows, maybe we'll even get a win out of it. But
run it back.
I know. Let's talk about what everybody at home can expect for this year. As I mentioned, it is the beginning of Year 6. We're going to take a look at the roadmap. Obviously, we already did our online open portion of things, and now we are in Split 1 Pro League. We're going to be here until June, and then we have our Split 1 playoffs. That's what everybody's going to be fighting towards right now. Then, of course, we run it back again, do Split 2 online, playing towards Split 2 playoffs. We've got our LCQ right in there, a little bit of downtime, and then it all culminates, as always, in our ALGS Championship in Sapporo, Japan, January 2027, as we get to take a look at those LAN locations. Split 1 playoffs, that's what we're fighting for right now. EWC, Split 2 playoffs, coming towards me in my hometown right now, Las Vegas, which I am so excited for. And then, of course, one more time, back in Japan. So excited to be back in Sapporo yet again for another championship, because I feel like it's only gotten better year over year, which means we're due for an even bigger and more epic championship this time around, Tiff. I mean, I can't wait to see how it all goes.
Same. The fact that I actually got to join you guys this year in Sapporo is brilliant. I'll re-up on some shoes that are good in ice, because I can't tell you how many times you would have caught me out on the streets of Sapporo practically dying. You know, I almost lost a hip. I'm getting old, guys. It was dangerous out there. But
gotta take the winter gear seriously. And if we're talking about all this new stuff that we've got coming up with our new year, we need to talk about arguably one of the best changes. Of course, you saw it pop up there on the bottom. We have a roster lock window now, which you heard Jumba talking about pre-show. You cannot change your roster until after match day 6 this season, Jamerson. And we have all of these new patch notes to take a look at. And we already saw in Emmy alone how impactful Gibby's changes have been.
Yeah, it's impactful, but it hasn't been hugely meta shifting. So Gibraltar is just seeing an uptick in usage. Watson was already a mainstay staple. The biggest thing is going to be, of course, the Hemlock Breach AR. It didn't have the most kills. That's because the follow-up that people bring out with that Hemlock has been the R99, which has been a great secondary. But the Hemlock for range, for sieging teams, has been absolutely absurd, the strength that that gun has right now.
Can I poke in here real quick?
Yeah, of course.
I want to say shout out to all the Apex fans out there that wanted to give us a little nod on this graphic and say, but how did you guys put this up here? It was quick patched. Yes, we know. I talked about it on the show in EMEA. We understand that it was a decreased base damage down to 22, and all the mag size, it got nerfed by 2 bullets throughout all the mag sizes. It's true. It happened. But you know what? The Hemlock still slaps.
Still here. It's still huge. It's still here. It's still a necessity. So I expect to see that used today in the Americas as we get to take a look at the teams that are in Pro League right now. Obviously, this is all of our squads. When it comes to today specifically, the same way we did in EMEA, we will be focusing in on groups A and B. Now, this probably feels like a good time to do a little bit of a catch-up as well, because we have a lot of off-season changes for these rosters. We have a new look Stallions, a new look Legacy, Purple, Slushee, but arguably one of the biggest ones that we need to talk about is Liquid. You mentioned them already, Jamerson. They were a storyline coming into Champs, a team that we were looking at because what was going to happen with, you know, 2 of the best being split up, Tiff, and now we already have a different look Liquid than what we saw at Champs.
Yeah, we do, and I'm actually really amped for this squad. It's between this and Falcons, and I know Jamerson was like, you know, we've got Aurora, we've got Lions over in EMEA, we've got Team Liquid, we've got Falcons over here in the Americas, but anytime you get Zero with a Kraber in his hand, it's gonna be a good day. So I hope we get more of that, you know, this afternoon, right? This evening.
Yeah, I mean, there's no denying, right? Zero just has so much history about being able to pilot so many different rosters to near championship level. And so with the addition of Panic, I feel like the kind of talent that he brings that we got to see throughout the Open last year as well, the ceiling is extremely high for this squad. They just need to bring it all together.
They really do. Honestly, I've been a big Panic fan. He got pretty crazy when it came to some of his plays on Wraith and Alter specifically. And I think with Zero and Sykes kind of leading the charge, there's gonna have some moments where Panic has standout performances, maybe in and outside of game. Glitter, maybe?
Yeah, because, you know, I think one of the things that this roster can benefit from, similar thing that Sykes does as well, but a little bit of levity, you know, to the group. Give me a little bit of a breath of fresh air, a little bit of fun, because Panic is not only that, you said in and out of game, Tiff. Well, we've got a couple tweets we want to go through here just to kind of show the relations we're talking about on this new roster, because Panic put out a tweet saying leg day isn't for the week, and to be fair,
how much do you think he deadlifts? How much do you think he deadlifts?
I'm not gonna play that game. You can't trap me with this. I'm not guessing a number here.
I'm gonna say a solid like 325. I don't remember the last time I saw him on land, so I don't know how big he actually is. He is young though. He is young.
Plot twist. I did 225 once. I just want to put that out there. I'm a nice little 5'1.5", and I hit 225. So I think Panic can definitely do more than that.
Well, he left mid-exercise to throw up in the bathroom, so we'll have to reassess the weight amount there. And then when they got home, he instantly went inside and grabbed a crumble cookie. Is that really the best recovery meal?
Hold on. I think Panic replied to one of my tweets once, and it was about food. I posted in Sapporo a picture of pancakes that were these like big fluffy pancakes with fruit on them. They look like dessert.
Yeah, got those.
So this tracks. This whole thing tracks about crumble cookies.
It's the young metabolism. I can't anymore.
I don't have it.
I would love to be able to, because I love myself some food, but yeah, it's the young metabolism.
We're gonna have to talk to Panic and see if any of this is even remotely true, because I need maybe even Sykes as well. I need
Should
some
we get him
more
up here?
info.
A little open forum. Honestly, bring Zero along as well, because Team Liquid's been putting out a ton of content leading into Pro League this split, and I've learned some of my new favorite words from Zero, actually, and some Australian slang.
Okay, good. Okay, so then that's the plan. We're gonna get them in here eventually. But chat, you know we couldn't do all of this, have a whole new year started and not have anything for you at home as well. Well, if you're wondering what we have this time around for Twitch drops, you can channel your inner flip-flopping CEO just by watching the show today or tomorrow. Now, it is limited to today or tomorrow. If you want that flip-flop gun charm, you need to watch for 30 minutes of our ALGS. Why is everybody laughing at me? Why is everybody laughing at me?
Immaculate.
So much practice earlier today to get that, the flip-flop. Honestly, I want flip-flops. I
got mine already.
Timeout. I was watching Howl Scrim last night, me and my little nugget, right? We were learning how to howl properly. He was jamming. I felt like I was on the beach in Greece or something watching him scrim, and I feel like the flip-flops are the perfect addition to that.
They are. So chat, make sure you were getting your gun charms. YouTube, make sure you pull up the stream, get your gun charms as well. While I remind everybody in chat to also follow us on social media at Play Apex Esports, whether that is X, YouTube, Insta, or TikTok, and at Play Apex on Twitch. As long as you're following along there, that way you could stay up to date with everything we've got going on. Giveaway opportunities, especially on Insta and TikTok. They are our newest social media platforms. So if you are on top of it, there's all sorts of stuff that you can make sure you're getting involved with along the way, as well as keeping up to date with a year jam-packed with ALGS action. And now that we have walked ourselves through everything, our players are getting themselves set up and ready to go. It's time to start diving into match number 1, guys. Let's get into it.
I feel like we just flew through that. How are we already on the map rotation screen? Guys, we're gonna do a little bit of the same. Like if you were here for EMEA earlier, great. We're kicking things off on Storm Point. We'll jump on over to E District later for matches 4 through 6. But Jamerson, we saw how different EMEA was. We had Alter not even banned till like towards the very end of the series. Do we get some of that same here today?
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of crazy. Again, Alter is a pretty high priority ban when it came to the scrims for this week on this particular patch, but it was Caustic that would take that #1 slot mostly throughout the week. But again, I think if EMEA taught us anything, it's to expect the unexpected. And so there might be a world where, again, Alter somehow escapes bans up until map number 5.
We'll have to see, but for now, this is your POI draft for Storm Point. A lot of people seem to still prefer picking Storm Point first, and Oblivion, our reigning world champs over there in Cedo Station. If our circles tend to be the same of what we saw over in EMEA, that's a stellar pick because you're going to have quick rotations. For Ninjas and Pyjamas, you're going to benefit yourself of that kind of lightning rod POI. You might have some long journeys to the circle, but you're going to have some crazy loot to do with it.
Yeah, and again, just having that priority has been nice for them. But for a squad like Falcons, they secure one of the most coveted prizes of North Pat. They will be largely contested by Men of Culture, but I don't expect too much fighting up there. I mean, you have to imagine that Men of Culture are going to give them the proper respect. Team Falcons does draw for themselves, and so they shouldn't be running into each other too often. But looking at Oblivion, Ninjas and Pyjamas, like you had mentioned, and Stallions as well, highly prioritizing it, getting things like the mill, that's going to be a great start for them.
I'm excited. Look, you said Men of Culture, and I can't even believe it. That's a team that we had learned a lot about over the past, couple of recent months, maybe last year. They bring in Voddery this year for the Pro League match split, so that'll be interesting to see how kind of the dynamics have shifted towards that. But a ton of teams that, when I was listening to the Apex podcast, just like in the wee hours of this morning, Jamerson, they said this is the split of questions. And I completely agree with that. And I took that sentiment into match day #1 for EMEA. I'm carrying on the sentiment here in the Americas.
Yeah, I still think Falcons this time around stand up on top. They're top. They are the best team in the region for sure. They're they're ready to fly the coop. But no, I think they stand head and shoulders above everyone else. And it's now it's the rest of the pack to try and catch up. And there are a lot of rosters that have that capability. I think right now, early on, just because you want to breed upon success, you want to have a good match day, there are some teams that are doing things a little bit differently here in Americas. Teams like S2, they're running that Gibraltar Newcastle composition that we got to see a little bit of in EMEA, and particularly here in Americas, the Gibraltar pickup has been a bit more popular, but more importantly, Mad Maggie, the aggressive compositions that we saw out of EMEA are going to be more aggressive here in Americas. And so we're looking towards like a game 4, game number 5 possible ban on Maggie, because so many teams are ready to flip on the switch for that aggression.
Okay, well, let's go ahead and look at some of those trios that are going to potentially have some of that aggression. Stallions, you got ALGS, Skittle, and Sacred coming on in. Now, I did see some interesting clips coming out of the Stallions with some crazy portal plays. We'll see if that happens here today. Elite Esports, Legacy, Gyozi, there being kind of one of the new members on that roster with Yanya and Jaguares, if I'm not mistaken. But they talked a lot about Purple Slushee as of late, Jamerson, with Crook kind of IGLing, got Deeds and Pluto in the mix. How we feeling about Revival coming in with Madness back?
Yeah, it's great to see Madness back, but going back to Purple Slushee, I like this squad. Crook and Deeds, they do have a lot of competitive history. It's more Pluto reality that's a little bit less tested, but I think they do have the pieces together to be able to form a good top of the middle of the pack. But again, when we're talking about the top of the middle of the pack, Team Liquid are probably the next team ready to strike and challenge Team Falcons for the best in the region.
Ooh. And if you've already talked about the best in the region, I feel like Falcons is your thought process right there right now.
Oh, 100%. 100%.
That's crazy. No, it's not crazy. They are pretty much a golden standard, but I'm not going to join you on that hill. I told you, I'm coming in open-minded, and I know that our reigning champs, Oblivion, that are in this lobby today, mind you, they only played like one split together as a team before they won LAN. So I think that's why they're on like, what, 14th on the predictions, the worldwide. And I was like, wait, why are our reigning world champs in 14th? And people are like, consistency. They lack consistency. Okay, well, maybe it's time for them to run it back.
Yeah, I think one thing, if we're going to talk about consistency, the composition that they really do want to run, they are favoring more towards having the defensive setup. So Gibraltar on map number 1 is what I'm looking at for Oblivion, where they want to try and prioritize getting center zone, rotate fast, get there, get into position. We know that Monsoon likes to run his snipers, and so if he ends up getting the infinite ammo perk, they can go ahead and bring that into center zone and farm up Evo that way, so they can get priority on a lot of these rotates.
Look, I could be crazy, but in yesterday's scrims, I don't see them running Gibraltar at all.
Maybe it was Newcastle. I could be wrong. Never mind. It is the Newcastle. It is the Newcastle. Okay, not the Gibraltar, the Newcastle.
There we go.
Yeah.
This makes a lot of sense. I was like, maybe I'm gaslighting myself. I could be so wrong. You know how that is, right? Sometimes you just drink a little too much coffee and I'm starting gaslighting. But this is cool. We got Caustic, we got Ring Information, we got Alter, and we have Newcastle. 2/3 of Meat Mountain.
A lot of teams actually starting off early on with the Newcastle as well. I think we see something about 8 teams currently running it right now, while most other teams are prioritizing, of course, having the Alter and having a Recon Legend. So surprisingly enough, Oblivion are gonna go, well, I guess they do have the option for the Recon with the Alter, but yeah, you have to imagine it's going to be a ring console scan instead for her. But this is what I'm talking about. They want a quick rotate. Getting that Cedo Station early draft is going to allow them to move. Unfortunately for them, this zone is pulling up towards the northeast side of the map, so it's a little bit far for them.
Yeah, well, honestly, we talked to Blinkster about this Cedo Station drop, so let's hear from it.
Cedo's good for us because we can just pretty much be in whatever spot we want to be, like in zone, right? A lot of teams are gonna want lightning, or they're gonna want dumbies because they have a car. Our main goal is just to be Cedo, land Cedo, leave really fast and just go zone. That's just our playstyle.
I mean, that tracks, Jamerson. They did leave incredibly quick. They're already at Mountain Lift. They're heading over towards now. They talked about teams that are going to want Lightning Rod, but then when you see the circle going towards Lightning Rod up in the north and favoring a lot of those teams, this also helps Oblivion, who go fast because they're already breaching onto Command Center.
Yeah, this might be good for them. They are unfortunately forced to stop because full 11 is ahead of them. But with Stormcatcher in the next zone, there is a pull that it's pretty likely that it could pull down here, or if they need to work their way on up, there are multiple avenues for them. But getting slowed down is definitely not part of the game plan for Oblivion. But you can see that not too many teams right here for Americas are highly prioritizing getting into this particular zone. It's already going to be difficult because you're running uphill. You have all that to deal with. Not everyone has a trident. But we're seeing a lot of teams already starting off with things like Maggie, with the Bangalore. So we have a lot of edge fighting teams ready to go.
Yeah, I'm looking at HUSS, who started down at Coastal. Thuggets started at Echo HQ. They've already made their way over towards the eastern side of Stormcatcher. Team Liquid up there in Jurassic mid-map, but the teams that started in the north are going to get some of those early areas, committing to Thunderwatch. All right, Big Louie over there on the right, and of course you got Jaguares, Yanya, and Gyozi on the top side of the left. Thanks to Newcastle, it's giving you abilities to throw down the wall and make space.
Well, purple armor's already coming out for a few of our squads. Deeds and Pluto Reality, well, they're purple Slushee, so very thematic for them. Crook isn't on it quite yet, but it's fine. They do have a squad just to their south right now. They might get spotted out. He is in drone currently, and they hit the scans. They know that there's a team rotating behind them, but it's more about getting ahead of everyone else. They're still a little bit behind the 8-ball there, but they'll be able to utilize that redeploy to get further. It looks like they will walk their command because they saw that it was clear.
Ooh, okay. Situating up here for Elite Esports. I was looking to see what our first banned legend was actually going to be. Alter will survive another day because Caustic is at 12. So Caustic will be the first legend banned. Alter at 11 picks, Crypto at 10. So incredibly close with one another. But gosh, Alter survives.
Yeah, so things going a little bit more expected than what we saw in EMEA, where Alter was able to survive this time around. Caustic getting that first ban. That's what we have been seeing in scrims. I think 5 out of the 8 or so scrims that we've had on this patch. Caustic has been the first ban. Unfortunately, I think we had to skip out on an entire block last night because of some server issues. So I wanted to say at the beginning of the show that, like, oh yeah, EMEA hasn't had as much practice, but it's about the same level of practice that both Americas and EMEA have had on this patch.
Ooh. All right, with Cole hitting the swing around Newcastle wall, Skittlecake's down, Alb down, and the Stallions will be the first team eliminated here in match day number 1 for the Americas. Now, a lot of people have been talking about Ninjas and Pyjamas, and Kirev's still down, but I've been loving kind of Vane's journey and seeing kind of how he was IGLing, locking him onto the Crypto, playing alongside Kirev and Cole. Still the season of questions for me, right? But picking up 3 kills and getting the first team wipe on the day with a nice reset is a good way to kick things off.
Yeah, this is definitely a squad that we're looking to do great things for this split. And I'm looking for a lot of these teams that are not playing the dictated meta, right? Okay. So the fact that they came out the gates with something aggressive, coming out with Mad Maggie, that already makes me a fan of what they're doing, and they're already getting value off of it.
Not bad. Checking in here with Team Liquid and where they're positioning themselves as they continue their journey up north. They've made it just past Stormcatcher. Now, do you kind of carve your way up the choke? That hill is such a tremendous thing to try and overcome, and we still don't know if it's going to pull up towards Thunderwatch proper. More than likely, a lot of our teams are hedging their bets that it actually is. So getting up towards that is going to be nice. Falcons, they've got this area of the map where they've kind of carved out the entire western side of things. Not too many people will likely chow up this way.
Yeah, Falcons, another squad that comes out the gates with an aggressive composition, running that Mad Maggie again. And I was waiting to see exactly how they wanted to start off the day. There were some questions in the air about how they would, what composition they would start off with. But yeah, they have settled on that Mad Maggie. And so teams are looking to avoid them. They know that Falcons can take their time. They get up to the purples. They get all the upgrades, and they'll have an immense fight. Pressure, Men of Culture getting pressured just a little bit here on the northern side. They've got a few teams in the area. It looks like Donut Shop, Elite Esports, and Team Falcons coming up behind them. They've got to be careful.
Some first engagements here. You got Hal on the Altar, gets his armor ripped off. Oh, stay up here. We can't afford an early knock, and immediately grabs that Nexus and retreats back to where they came from. An aggressive comp looking for an early fight, but Men of Culture do a really nice job to hold their ground.
Yeah, that was a quick response coming out from Men of Culture, and that's the kind of response you need if you're going to play that position. And it looks like Men of Culture don't want any part of this. They're going to go for higher ground so far and get out of the cave that Falcons were pushing. So a lot of positional play coming out from our squads right now. Dupe and White Jelly and Kimchi have made their way up to the north here, as Team Liquid are taking a pit stop here over at Stormcatcher. Unfortunately for them, the ring is pulling up north, and so they'll have to deal with HUSS, with Free Thinkers rotating in from this similar direction.
This is going to make for such a fun end game, because I told you that hill is disgusting trying to claw up it. So making sure that, hey, do we want to carve towards the right? Well, the Thuggets have already found themselves in a situation over there where they're clearing out the western side. So Team Liquid, your first matter of business would have been to take down HUSS, but HUSS get access to the information of where the ring's pulling, and they say, see you later, we've got to go.
We do have Nice Guys and Oblivion in that giant hill that you were talking about, and they are set up. They've got themselves, of course, the new castle to play off of, so it becomes much easier as we take a look at our Red Bull first strike. This was NIP striking while the iron's hot, getting our first strike of the split.
Ooh. See, it's always fun when you anchor down and you get the new castle wall, you've got a pylon in the mix and you think it's a playable space. But when you have someone that's running a really aggro composition and just swings on it, doesn't really miss their shots and makes like work, tough, right? But that's okay, because there's still 5 more games for the Stallions to get in and do what they can with.
Team Falcons, they are still controlling that northwest side of the zone. Men of Culture have completely avoided them. I was kind of expecting Men of Culture to try and take that north side of the zone, but instead they've decided to wrap all the way back down to the west and come to the south. We do have an EMP coming out. HUSS already losing out onto one. Team Liquid, never mind, that's NIP and on top of us right now.
I'm telling you, you do not want to be taking fights early game in this Thunderwatch area, and HUSS will be eliminated in 19th place. Even Ninjas in Pyjamas walking in and grabbing another KP onto Kimchi, putting them towards 6 KP already between the teams that have gone out. Now Zach Mazer, Loader, Carter trying to get into the mix, but we've got to fend off the gas. Let's go ahead, let's jump into Elicited with them.
Attack it, 20.
I've done.
Okay.
That's a kickoff. That is Maggie Crypto.
Yeah, we're fine.
Building is Maggie Crypto.
Yeah, they're leaving.
Blow my team in the corner, guys.
They can drill our crate, but I don't think they can do much. They're so extended right now. This guy's just in the open. You can peek that green crate from me, too. You can peek this green crate and see it first.
He's hitting mid reset.
Okay. They got mythic.
That's fine. I mean, we just have best spot in zone.
They can't loot it.
Our biggest...
Yeah, he's looting it right now.
We can't stop it. Our biggest threat is south, guys. That crypto team shouldn't burn their whole load on us when they we easily can turtle and they could get pushed, right? If they burn their load on us, they won't have it for their own compound.
Even he's walking on.
All right, well, that's a good check-in there with S2 Jamerson. Zach Mazer common like crazy. Best spot in zone. I mean, he's got the eastern side.
Now that is a great call, because he knows that the team to his north, which is NIP, will have to deal with the northwest rotation. Their biggest threat is Thuggets to the south. Team Falcons right now are having to deal with this pileup. They've got Elite Esports to the south of them, Purple Slushee on the other side of this choke as well. Team Falcons, though, do have Waltzy on that crypto. He can play that forward scout, but for the time being, while they're waiting for this next ring to start closing, they've got him with the drone watching their back.
Walty's crypto is actually kind of crazy. It's pretty good. Let me just go ahead and say that much. So we'll keep tabs on how they're going to navigate. All the teams collapsing on each other. Elsewhere, we're back towards the south. It's Free Thinkers, and only 2 of them still standing because Team Liquid's Panic on the altar is looking for some plays.
Yeah, we saw HUSS give up the position underneath Team Liquid very early on before they ended up getting wiped. So Team Liquid have a very easy fight here as Purple Slushee were able to take out Team Falcons.
How does that feel, Jamerson?
Wow.
You were hyping him up. Look, I know they're a gold standard team here. But that was a really tough rotation to make. The Falcons, who start north pad, we knew all these different tunnels and choke points were going to be difficult. And even though they were running the Mad Maggie altered crypto, it really didn't leave them a lot to throw down like a bubble or anything to help kind of stiffen that fight.
Yeah, so it makes it a lot easier now for Elite Esports and Purple Slushee to come in from the northwest side. Team Liquid doing the job for themselves, are clearing out the south, but they do have Source Gaming ahead of them. Already losing out on Sykes. Gonna have to disconnect and possibly hope that he can survive. They do have, of course, the altar to bring him back, but Zero is taking his time right now to heal up as Panic backs away.
Okay. He baits the grav cannon. Okay. Obviously, they're not going to see him flying across the map, so we'll check in with that in a second. For Men of Culture, they're still trying to find a spot into the circle as well, and Zero and Panic do full send up towards the north. Now, mind you, Zero's on a crypto, so you're just putting a non-movement character in front of all of the teams in Thunderwatch, but Panic grabs the banner. And Panic on an altar. We saw Light do this in EMEA, right? He gets the last minute double reset in an endgame situation. Can Panic do some of the same?
Yeah, Light was able to do it without any cryptos in the lobby. This time around, though, most of our teams are running it, and so you're going to be on drone 99% of the time. Team Liquid will end up going down that Splat Earth to take him out. We are now down to our final 14 squads. S2 called it. Zach Mazer, honestly, is one of the best zone callers, I would say, in Americas, and you can see right there how he was able to position his team for the best spot on the map right now.
He did, and here's the deal. I told you guys, I was listening to the Apex pod. We're gonna get some of the boys on here later during halftime, and Enoch was a believer in S2. He was like, look, I think they're elite. They're 100% top 5 in the Americas, and everyone was out here fighting for Falcons and fighting for Team Liquid. Granted, it's just game number 1, but those two teams are out of the lobby, and S2 finds themselves in God spot.
And that's the thing, they can run a composition which does excel to their strengths, right? It does complement them extremely well. Get to center zone, but Men of Culture ends up finding another fight. That's gonna be Nice Guys going down. This clears out the south just a bit, but they have a long trek up this hill still to go. HBM trying to hold the line up against Elite, but they've already lost out on Perfections. Envy the next one to fall.
This is going to be one of the nastiest fights over here, because look where we have to go. The ring is closing, and you have to find and thread the needle and get into that next circle. Throw the redeploys down and try to fly into that. HBM falls. We got Trident bubble rotations. This is why I said this was going to be a really wild zone. Oblivion, your reigning world champs, are in the thick of it with Monsoon. 10 HP in a dream, not surviving here. Go down at the hands of some of Source Gaming, who now have found a clean reset. But it's Men of Culture who used kind of that respawn beacon, the Moby, gets up to a team of 3, fights for it, and gets into that next circle.
Elite Esports, unfortunately, will fall, leaving us now down to our final 10. Purple Slushee trying to recover here, but Pluto Reality bleeding out. Men of Culture, no armors to speak of whatsoever, but they at least have cover. Too many cheaters now. We'll pick up that banner, but he's got to back away. And that's going to be very far on the edge of the zone, but he's been spotted out. The crypto drones leave nothing to the imagination whatsoever. Source Gaming will be able to get KJ back on his feet now in time for this next rotate.
Yes, you burn your bubble here, but it's electrified. You get the reset. The altar helps you get on out and reset. For now, S2 has been chilling. One of, actually, the only team inside of the next circle. And they've got the space that they laid the foundation for like 10 minutes ago.
Yeah, this composition, it could eat so much, and I think Team saw it. Team saw the Gibraltar and the Newcastle and decided not to spend any resources on this whatsoever, because what can you do? This is a composition that I've seen 3-4 Gibraltars throw 9 defensive bombardments at, and you can just survive because of how easily you can cycle through the tacticals of both the Gibraltar and the Newcastle. Add on top of that, you've got the Caustic as well, throwing down barrels and the Nox gas grenade. For Zest Fest, though, they're breathing it in right now as they're looking to finish this squad off. Legatron does get knocked here. Well, Zest Fest might have an opportunity to get their crypto back on his feet.
Zest Fest, best America's team name. Let me go ahead and say that much, but they're gonna go Fredstar holding down. Do we get a reset? A moment You're gonna have to crawl. We've got so far to go. I don't know what to expect out of this, but we hit the free camp. You see S2 out there on the right-hand side of things. Sure, you have Godspot, but you've only picked up, I don't actually no kills yet. Maybe that's your first right there as Purple Slushee's eliminated down to the final 7. This is where you have to make the most of it and pick up as many kills as possible.
NIP have a window here, if they wanted to try and push S2. S2 has a big threat waiting just off to their right because NIP are running the Crypto and the Maggie. That is the hardest counter to the composition that S2 are running. But I think NIP right now, they're happy to coexist with them until shots get taken off. And there's a knock onto one NIP member. S2 are dealing with their biggest threat.
They're going. They're full sending, and Zach is down. It's Carter and Loader that are going to have to make something of this. Mind you, NIP is on double-digit kills. Flat has fallen into the top 3 we go, and this is where the Gibby proves its money's worth, right? You throw the bubble down immediately in full send.
Wow, that is the biggest threat in the lobby for S2. They've got the high ground. They have so much space to play off of, and now they're looking to finish off NIP, who are just down to that Mad Maggie Kura. We'll see how much longer he can survive. Full try to charge forward, but that's going to be an arm shield that you connect onto, so you don't get full damage there for future. It's about to be almost a clean 3v3 for S2 up against full 11, unless NIP get the res.
Dude, full 11 on 10 kills, 4,000 damage as a team. Their damage differential's going crazy. And now infinite ammo with the Craver to drop Carter like this?
They got the res. They got the Newcastle. They were able to get him back on up. Zach Mazer reconnects with his squad right now. The defensive bombardments, they just start coming down for them. Carter takes a lot of damage here, but full 11 cannot commit onto this. They're worried about the threat. Just off to their side, nice airburst nade onto Carter as they charge forward. Zach Mazer gets that bubble down for his squad, tries to play off of it, but he will fall. But the resets are coming in, and again, the defensive composition is just buying time as NIP look for that flank on to full 11.
And they're just a duo. NIP is showing face. They back on out, and full 11 is trying to fight both teams at once. And here comes the caustic barrels that are creeping, taking down the damage. It's Sovius and Legatron, minimal amounts of health left, but we get the shield swap. And here comes NIP, the final battle, a 2v1, and NIP takes the win in game number 1.
How did that happen? Well, it started off with an amazing Craver shot to take down Carter, and that slows down the composition. The team that had the momentum had it instantly taken away from them. What an amazing play, but NIP are able to grit down, bare their teeth, and just wait, come back as a duo, and finish them off once the trades happen.
That was masterfully done, right? Because when you think about it, Ninjas and Pyjamas, they land Lightning Rod. So as soon as you see that circle pull, right, they don't have to rotate it. They can immediately loot up, put themselves in a position. But what they do throughout that entire match is they go look for fights, right? They immediately take the fight on to Stallions, and they get the Red Bull first strike, right? So then a bunch more teams, 13 total kills, 25 points. But honestly, I got to give my shouts to full 11 over there. 13 points for them as well, just in terms of kills.
Yeah, full 11 had to go through that gamut, the gauntlet of the Southern rotate here, and had plenty to deal with. But they were the ultimate thorn in the side for S2. That should not have happened for S2 to basically deal with their biggest threat, their natural counter composition from NIPs. The fact that they weren't able to finish them off was like the biggest thing. But yeah, great job from NIP for having the tenacity to stick through it all, being able to get that reset. That was just amazing work coming out from NIP.
I was really shocked when we saw S2 over there in Godspot Glitter, considering they start in Cenote.
Some impressive rotations, right? To get themselves into the spot that they needed to be in at the end of the day. And we're sitting here talking about these strong performances out of NIP, out of full 11. On the flip side of that, I'm just going to say Liquid and Falcons are on the second page towards the bottom. And I know it's the first match of the first day of the first split. You know, I get all of that, but I'm just saying, shout out to NIP, because in this does happen a lot. Sometimes the people that we think are the heavy hitters do not come out of the gate hot at all.
To be fair, Dawn said they were A+. Dawn said Ninjas and Pyjamas were A+. Didn't quite put them in elite, but put them right there. we'll talk to them later. We'll see how
I agree. You know, no, it's gonna be a fun halftime show for sure. So if you're here in chat, make sure you're sticking around for everything. But speaking of fun things, okay, we've got a little bit of a new segment that we're gonna take a look at here. Okay, it's called This Day in Apex, and we're gonna be taking a look at some clips. This one specifically is from 6 years ago, April 4th, 2020. This was I'm gonna make sure I say this right. This was, because this was so long ago, it was the Apex Online number 3 tournament. Apex Online number 3 tournament for North America. Jamerson, baby Jamerson dabbing. And Liquid is the team that came out on top on this one, but this is a Liquid that you are not going to. Nope. Keep try again.
Casper, Flaker, and Nocturnal. I forgot about that. Oh my goodness.
Yes.
All these names, though. All of these
Casper,
names
and
have been.
Flanker. This is old Liquid.
Remember,
the team.
Peach just had his thing on Reddit as well, from retired to where are they now?
Yeah.
This is so crazy.
Yup. Literally, the Rogue that's there in 7th place, that's a team that I was managing at the time. Like, this is OG
Huskers,
Apex.
Yes. Not Huskers.
Huskers
and that
dropped in sweet. Huskers dropped in
Huskers
sweet.
still playing here?
Yeah. It's okay. Huskers is elsewhere now. Huskers is about to be a dad. Like, this is 6 years is crazy.
Wow.
And Jamerson, I might need baby Jamerson with the dad, baby Rain Day. I mean, come on.
Before we had our own babies.
Aww.
Oh,
I don't know where I
TSM,
was.
old school TSM, Monsoon, Complexity, Fnatic.
Yeah, look at these names. The
Boba Boys?
Was that Corn Pops and
the Fnatic? The old Fnatic was Spirit, Shiny, and Muffins.
Spirit
that
Shiny
played
Muffins.
in this one. That played in this one.
Okay, that was Corn Pops was before that one. Okay, yeah. Corn Pops was 2019,
this is
not
a
2020.
Throwback.
Wow.
Little Poggies.
I miss Shiny. I miss Shiny, by the way.
Wait, look at Ring Day. This
We
looks
all
like
look like 20 years younger.
Post-soccer career Rain Day.
Oh my goodness.
Aww.
It's
now
crazy.
Rain Day is an author, a legendary Apex content creator, host, and Jamerson, you're still great too.
I'm here. I'm here. I'm happy just to be here. So
You're great. You're great. I was
fun.
a pub stomper back then.
That was fun.
so many memories. Every single one of those rosters. There's so much to say about every single one of those rosters from back then.
I know, and I'm looking forward to more of those as we go throughout the rest of the split, because I can't wait to see how many throwbacks we have in the works across all of these shows. But that was just a fun little homage to the journey that we've taken to get to where we are today, because now we're preparing to dive into match number 2 of day 1 of year 6 here for the Americas. We've been going for 7 years strong at this point. I mean, let's keep this action going. All right, that was fun.
Yeah, the thing is, like, my memory is terrible, but there was something special about that era of Apex Legends that I distinctly remember so many of those rosters. And I miss so many of those players. I miss Shiny, Muffins.
Aww.
I miss Spirit. That entire Fnatic roster, they were such a vibe. They were one of the first vibe squads. Oh my god.
Who's our vibe squad now, Jamerson?
Vibe
Who's our
squad
vibe?
now? I think it's Oblivion. Oblivion. It's Monsoon.
Okay, but after the win, Monsoon like running through the venue, those are top tier moments that it's not the same when you're online right here, right? Because I mean, if Monsoon runs out of his room, we don't really get to see it, I guess.
Also, that quick change into the maid outfit, I don't know how he did it so fast. I swear the camera like swapped away for like 2 seconds, right? They went on to a shot of like the crowd, and then as soon as it went back to Monsoon, like 2 seconds later, he was in the maid outfit. That was insane.
It was practiced, is what it was.
No, he's just
practiced.
actually a magical girl, and he can do the Sailor Moon transformation into a maid outfit.
That would be wicked cool. I would be completely envious of it. But regardless, right? I actually, where did they go out in match number 1? It looks like 12th place. They had 1 kill, so not terrible. We got some points on the board, so we'll see how that goes. But we turn our sights over some teams that were dubbed S-tier teams that need to perform. Team Liquid, right? They got a couple of kills, 2 of them in match number 1, but not going to be enough for their standards, Jamerson.
Yeah, and I think this was probably going to be one of the harder one of the harder games for them, that first one out the gate. But they should be able to turn things around. They're going over to the aggressive composition themselves. They're going to be playing off of this Maggie. So I want to see them really start, putting their reputation out there and playing with that reputation. Start putting the fear into the rest of the teams.
Well, we saw Panicking the last alive in match number 1, trying to maybe grab some points. I know Dia did some interviewing with some players, and we've got another pip from Panic, so let's hear from him.
Tila with Panic now in the front line. I think now with Panic on the team, kind of have a unleashed beast, like you just send your dog out and your dog goes and fucking bite like some people ankles. I think that's Panic right there. I think Panic just does whatever he wants, and I think Panic and Grief he could grief for gameplay because he's gonna do some random stuff. So I think that's a team to be careful about.
Yo, it wasn't Panic. It was Blinkster calling Panic like a dog, like a leashed dog with a little bit of a bark in there.
Dog.
Unleashed dog. Oh, I was gonna say, hey, yo, let him go, let him go.
Oh, Men of Culture, though, on the hunt for 1 right now over here at Checkpoint. And, it's going to be Voxy Meme that gets taken down and finished off. So just caught on the rotate there, unfortunately for them. But this is early on. There's Crypto still in the lobby. They should be... Oh, wait. Sorry. I actually got so caught up in this day, I didn't see who was banned from first game.
Caustic.
Okay, that makes sense.
Tia Caustic, just by like 1. I think it was like 12 picks comparing to Alter's 11 and Crypto's 10. I don't know who we're losing out on after this match. Let me go ahead. Let me take a... Oh, we're losing Alter. Alter is much earlier than Amia.
Yeah, makes sense, though. This has been kind of the standard so far for Americas as Men of Culture find a little bit more here. So that's going to be 2 kill points for them to pick up so early on. We'll see if HBM can recover, though. And now, as we look at Oblivion, we noted how quickly they were able to rotate in off that Cedo Station pole. This time, though, they were beaten to the gun once again as we have a launch pad pull for game number 2.
It's kind of interesting, right? Because this is where we like to see Ninjas in Pyjamas up there from Lightning Rod. They had a circle pull towards them and they performed exceptionally well, which you should if you get a circle gifted to you. Now that you have to rotate, of course, we've talked about this historically, how easy it is rotating from north to south just because you're going towards the low ground. But when so many teams have already found themselves in Launchpad, finding a viable spot, maybe you carve your path down towards the eastern side of things, great. But we got baited in EMEA, right? I do think since there's more north on this circle as opposed to what we saw earlier today, that it does actually favor more Launchpad.
Yeah, we saw a lot more of Devastated Coastin, but importantly, in the first zone, it was a bit more eastern as well, which left a lot of that back coastline open, and we saw, I believe it was Awakened play out from theirs. But I would fully agree with you. I think this is no question whatsoever. This is going to be a Launchpad ending. You need to get there if you can. And if you're not, if you're a team that wants to fight on the edge like NIP, you're more than okay with seeing this pull because that means kill points are there on the north side of the map for you to pick up.
That's true. All right. And as you can see, kind of all our legend comps as well, a ton of alters. So people are going to, even the Seers coming in, they've been back in it. NIP just on your screen right now as they're making their way further south. You've got 2 members up in Thunderwatch, 1 and Stormcatchers. They're looking for that information. They've got to try it. They're feeling pretty confident on the rotate. And based off the slaying power we saw in match number 1, I think they're pretty confident on taking any fight against any team in this lobby.
Yeah, it's so surprising how many kills that they were able to come out with having the ring pulled towards them. Very often we see when teams have the ring pulled towards them, they aren't able to capitalize and get as many kills as they would like, but NIP definitely found those opportunities and made as much as they could have having that happen. Right now, though, this composition is supposed to excel at taking fights on the edges, and so that's what they're looking for. They do have the ring scan to play off of, the ring console, so they'll have a general idea of where teams will be rotating in from. On board with Free Thinkers, they are playing the south side of the zone out here from Devastated Coast. This is going to be a good zone 2 for them, but when zone 3 ends up pulling away over towards Launchpad, they're going to have to deal with Oblivion and HUSS in their way.
I was wondering if it was Monsoon or Fun that was playing on the crazy name, and it's definitely Monsoon. So that gave me a chuckle there for Oblivion as we fly through on the Trident here. Continuing our rotation through Jurassic for this squad. Team Liquid got the scan. They've got 5 enemies that are doing a little 360, okay. A little Nitro Circus action here. I'm still convinced one day we need Trident racing.
We can make it happen.
I think we can, 100%.
Yeah. I don't want to make a drone shell and do that. That would be super cool on land.
Please, please. Ooh. Elsewhere, Free Thinkers. All right, Newcastle wall down. Here's that hemlock we've been chatting so much about. Can't we just get an extra shot into Jelly there? Possibly not, and that's
it's the third party. Oblivion coming in to try and finish them off, but they haven't been able to push quite yet. The exhibit goes down as they back away with Orange. So Oblivion aren't able to completely capitalize on this, and you have to back up.
Sometimes you gotta do that. You just gotta do it. Free Thinkers live to see another fight. And this is kind of the battle for the South, right? A lot of our teams actually picked up towards Launchpad and playing, you know, on top of that, the back buildings, Red Room down below. But Oblivion and Free Thinkers, they're just kind of existing down in the South. It's not going to be for a long time, as you see that pool, and exactly what I'm talking about. We still have some heavy hitting names that have not found themselves in towards those next circles. So keep your eyes on S2. Where do they commit? Do they go into the choke on the outskirts of Pylon straight into Oblivion? Where do Falcons commit to? And towards the north, Men of Culture, Ninjas in Pyjamas, and Purple Slushee.
Yeah, S2 are moving towards the ring console right now, and as soon as they see this pull, it seems like they already had an indicator. They already felt like it was going to have this southern pull for themselves, and they are in position to capitalize off of that. They just need to do it fast, though. They've got Falcons to their north right now, who will also be able to hit a ring console, but they'll I believe they should be within range of that survey beacon too. And Falcons is still running a composition where they want to fight. So S2, despite being able to run the turtle composition, the defensive composition, still have to deal with Falcons.
Stop. What? I'm sorry. The turtle comp just caught me so off guard. I love that we have names like the Meat Mountain comp, but we get the turtle comp, and here we go with some information for the Falcons. Let's go ahead. I want to get into their thoughts for this rotation, hopefully relatively soon, especially when you grab a scan like that and see some enemies as well.
Okay, down the car. We'll definitely beat them to the compound.
They're top of the coastal hill right now.
Okay. Yeah.
Do you want me to save the pylon man scan or hit it?
Save it.
Okay. I still need a light mag.
They're in car over here. They're in car over here. They might not know we're here yet. We gotta just wait then. Wait. Let them look up. Or drive up. I'm crouching close to it. I'm gonna peek when they're close.
They're driving.
EMP.
On you. No, dude. I can't. It's not close enough. It's a keepy team.
How do you...
I can't fly my drone that fast, Sal.
No, I know, but like, don't fucking spaz out. Let him play the game. Like if he didn't fucking tweak out, they would have just jumped on his head and we killed him. They're like calming like he's about to die. If they don't know we're here. Yeah.
Okay.
Falcons try to lay the trap. They were able to cut off S2, getting to the compound a little bit earlier on, but unfortunately, some mistimings there out from a number of abilities. We saw the riot drill go into the fence just ahead of Gilderson's. Waltzy wasn't in position with the EMP, but it was a Gibraltar composition. The bubble going down early, though, might have been a point for Team Falcons to be able to capitalize on. That means S2 were able to get away and swerve on over to the south side of the map here. For Team Falcons now, they're looking for their next target. They do have a survey beacon to utilize if they're looking for another team to try and hunt down.
But they're waiting on it, right? They're waiting on it, per their comms. And Waltzy, you fly that drone. You fly it. I love when I get to hear those comms. I told you, me and my little nugget were watching House Scrim, his POV last night, and he was learning some choice words. Granted, he only knows mama and dada so far, but he might learn how to howl soon.
Yeah, I could never. I'm never taking that risk. I mean, I was hoping like you're wearing headphones, Ray. Like, what the hell? Ooh, NIP finally find some action for themselves, and it's HBM who were able to recover and get all 3 members, but not for long, as 2 knocks now and HBM are on their last legs, but a third-party attempt will force back NIP.
Yanya taking down Vayne right there. Look at that. He's waiting. Here comes Cole, and goodbye to you. Legacy finds some of their first kills there as well, but gotta hunt him down. Ninjas and Pyjamas, who did exceptionally well with 25 points in match number 1, are no longer here. One of our first 2 teams out. Unfortunate, but Legacy on the move.
Yeah, something about the winning curse, as Deeds will finish off perfection. But for Legacy now, clearing out the north side, they still have a lot of work ahead of them. Men of Culture, Zest Fest, a lot of teams here on the northeast side. Getting into Launchpad is going to be a difficult thing. Luckily for them, did I see the Trident? They have a Trident to play off of, along with the Gibraltar bubble. So that is something that they can't consider.
Okay, yeah, good shouts there. Keeping tabs. Men of Culture have been performing exceptionally well, right? They did have some roster changes. They bring in Vaudry, who's got proven history, and I like the dynamic, right? And based off what I saw in match number 1, if that stays consistent, I feel like some good things are coming from Men of Culture.
I'm still waiting to see. It's been hard because there are just so many swaps, so many changes to try and keep track of every team, but they're definitely having a good first few games so far. As Legacy spot out Men of Culture, they are separated here in the fight, but Legacy will just go ahead and give this one up, back up and buy some time for themselves. They need to wait out for that Gibraltar bubble to come back in. And now their Trident gone. They won't have that for the rotate, but they do have the Skyward Dive.
Good, because Men of Culture were running straight towards them. Elsewhere, we have lost Source Gaming. We've lost out on Stallions as well. And for Falcons, who have tried to take space, we were curious where they were going to enter the next circle into, and here they are. The team that's likely poking at them is Oblivion, and of course, the high ground. But with a Kraber and infinite ammo, it should allow them some moments to move in on. You grab a knock, and you're like, all right, this is my timing to go.
Yeah, they were able to get a quick knock onto Pluto Reality, I believe, of Purple Slushee, but not able to follow it up. Like you had mentioned, the pressure onto Oblivion now, but they can't follow up on this one, unfortunately. No. It's just too much of a defensive composition. You got the Newcastle and the Watson. They saw the traps, the pylon nodes going down in there, and so they can't quite push that yet.
Do it! Oh, come on. Of course they can't push it, but it's still fun to see.
Ooh.
All right, that's all right. We were close.
Yeah. Hal has the right priority, though. He needs to watch out for this northern rotate out from Purple Slushee. They've already indicated they want to get aggressive. Too many cheaters finds one. Voxy meme going down. HBM do trade back, though, and we'll see if they can survive. But no, HBM finally get hunted down. It's going to be Men of Culture to finally put a stop to their game.
Look, I'm telling you, they are good at fighting right now. They are showing us why we need to be very aware of Men of Culture. They have 6 kills here in match number 2, and they are just climbing out, clearing out a side for them in the north. They're a threat to be reckoned with, thanks to production for kind of bringing that in. Will Purple Slushee decide to push on him? I don't know if they can. And for Falcons, it's going to be tough because they have that Kraber in the hands of Hal, looking at everyone else.
That's a scary spot to try and heal from. As you can see, Oblivion continue to pepper away at Team Falcons. Gilderson's trying to get close on this squad. Never mind. It's just loot boxes. So they were, so I don't know. I guess Purple Slushee just gave up the spot and were able to move forward, and they did. They're deep within right now, getting EMP'd. But they do find a decent part of a dock to play off of. We have so many teams inside of Launchpad proper, and that's kind of what we expect here. But it's Free Thinkers versus Oblivion, Tiff.
This is the fight that was supposed to be happening at the beginning. They wave the flags and decide not any longer for Oblivion. They are just taking so much damage here, but the pylon coming in from Fun right there will give them some of those shields to recoup on, and immediately Monsoon with the Newcastle picks up Blink, so a good stabilization, and Freethinkers are forced to back out through the Void Nexus.
Yeah, the Newcastle resets are just too much. If you're not able to get 2 knocks here, or at least start things off against the Newcastle, it's nearly impossible to push. So Oblivion will survive for now, and they start pushing out. But that does mean they are delayed on this rotate. They're going straight into Falcons. Howls connects with a shot, but he has to get behind cover. Waltzy with the EMP will slow them down even more. The riot drill out here from Gildersons was able to find a nice angle. That's the knock onto Blinkster, but Oblivion are still trying to creep forward with this one. Falcons looking to finish them off.
And a rotate behind the mobile shield is all they have. Doing what they can still. It's going to be Yanya that picks up a knock elsewhere, and the Falcons trying to get some of that. All they're doing, though, is drawing the attention of multiple teams still in Launchpad. The fact that the circle's this small with 15 squads and the Falcons completely annihilate Oblivion.
Great Q out there to get into position to finish them off. Now Falcons change their priority. It's Freethinkers who are getting tunnel vision by Team Falcons. The defensive bombardment will slow down a lot of the fighting here on the southern side, and Freethinkers aren't out of dodge quite yet. Might be in the sights of Hal here, who still has that infinite ammo Kraber to play with.
So we're going to need the Kraber and Waltzy's EMP off cooldown to really open the door on some of these fights. Zest Fest is going to fall. We're down to 13, but you do have Flat on ultimate height. They've got an infinite ammo longbow that is going to be such a nuisance to the lobby.
Yeah, Flat don't have many people looking to contest either because there's so much going on the low ground. No one can really try and fight for this height right now. So QZer is just getting so many free shots off with this longbow. Just needs to connect with it as he does spot out. Oh, someone's just standing in the open. That's a 60. The full squad. I think that's Team Falcons that they're shooting at.
Freethinkers down. Freethinkers out. I see some action from Team Liquid. The low ground is apparently where all of the action is, and we're trying to carve our path forward, trying to move away from Flat's longbow, and the shield swaps are definitely helping.
They got plenty of shield thought to play off of. Pluto Reality gets into the queue just in time there. As Hal, playing from the back, still has that Kraber in play. We'll see if he can possibly create an opening onto Flat Earth, who are playing on top.
Into the top 10. Nice guys and Purple Slushee out.
Airburst nade. This could be huge. EMP out. Now the follow-up, a little bit too late, but they've got the counter as well. The Maggie ball comes in. Gildersons with 1. Davis wave to fall next. Team Falcons, 1 more kill here to finish them off.
Great ball right there from Guild, and it's just perfect timing. But with that circle, they've got to push forward. The ring is moving. We lose out on Waltzy, but Hal and Guild do make it forward, but into the line of sight of Thuggets, and Team Falcons are out again. Down towards the low ground. We lose out on Donut Shop, but it's full 11, who was into that end game in match number 1 and doing a bit of the same here.
Wow. And they are uncontested on their side with this win. And so they'll be able to walk this one in without too much pressure from the other squads because Team Liquid are dealing with Flat above them, S2 underneath, Thuggets as well, and Men of Culture have a similar position for themselves where it's largely uncontested and free walk in to the center of the zone.
Honestly, quite impressive what they've been able to do. A lot of teams have been falling and we've been noting certain squads, but Team Liquid has been having a hand in a lot of them, picking up a kill here, picking up a kill there. They currently have 8 kills in this lobby, and Men of Culture have 9.
The first bombardment going down there for Nano.
But are they getting their fulls? I do see 3 assists for Nano, so at least they have a couple of kills.
You have 2
not
other
giving up
Newcastle
height to hit
squads
it.
still here. So the resets are there. S2, along with Thuggets, are also running Newcastles.
Like they're weakening them and then throwing them right into Team Liquid's open arms.
Yeah, 0 farming, sustainable farming there on the low ground. They have taken a decent amount of damage. Looks like it was Full that was trying to put pressure onto them. The Full team Q out, but it's a trade between the squads right now as Full try to back away Team Liquid. will ultimately go down full 11. Now, in the position of being a two-man here for the late game.
They get hopefully a clear reset on the duo, at least Men of Culture diving in and out of the altar. See what this works for them. You've got to stay, hold your line, because flat up on that high ground has definitely been that thorn. And you can see as soon as you jump on towards the left side, break out the wingman, let it connect. Full 11 is out into the final four we go. And here comes another push. Maggie Balls, Gibby Bubbles. It's crazy. Can Men of Culture hold the line?
Wow, Thuggets end up getting wiped there. Men of Culture need to stabilize as flat. We'll go ahead and pressure S2. Get up onto the high ground here. And
okay,
now we're waiting it out. 3 Gibraltar ultimates ready here for Zach Mazer, or was about to be. Throws out the first, throws out the second, and he's got time to try and get that ultimate excel off and get a third one down. Big defensive bombardment for Zach Mazer as the bubble goes down just in time for Flat Earth.
But Nano is barely alive. There's one member left. It's a 3v3 v1, and look where Men of Culture go. They full send on to Flat, and S2 just has to lay down the cleanup, and they do so. Didn't convert in match number 1, but they win match number 2.
And this is their play style. This is what I was looking forward to. They were one of the first teams in Americas to really lean into the Gibraltar and Newcastle composition. It's very patient play for them. There were some growing pains early on at the beginning days of scrims, but you can see it's already paying dividends for them.
Yeah, but I mean, you think about it this way, Loader and Carter have so much history competing together and time playing as well as a team, right? But then you bring in Zach as that IGL, and once you kind of get accustomed to how that playstyle is going to look, at least they're getting into these end game positions that put them with success to be able to convert. And if they don't, they're still in the top 3. They're still getting great placement points from it. So it's still looking great, Jamerson.
Yeah, and this was a squad that I definitely want to shout out early on. Like I said, teams that are fully committing into the meta. We're seeing, of course, the aggressive compositions, the Mad Maggie compositions coming out, but I do like the Gibraltar Newcastles for teams that are still learning to mesh with each other. You had mentioned, yes, there is a lot of experience with Loader and Carter, but when you bring in a new IGL, it's completely changing up a lot of the dynamics, especially with how they're playing. I believe Zach is the one on that Gibraltar. He needs to mesh with the Newcastle. It's fairly easy to, of course, be able to layer the cues between those two legends, but sometimes you just got to make sure you get that all worked out and ironed out.
Well, look at our series results right here. Ninjas and Pyjamas there in 4th place with 26 points, 25 of them from match number 1. Full 11, consistently putting up some big numbers. Nice kills there. S2, Men of Culture. Dude, I told you, I was impressed with Men of Culture, Jamerson, and I still am.
Yeah, I mean, we had 3 men in EMEA. Now we've got Men of Culture. So they dropped the 3 and they've upgraded, I guess, the Men of Culture here for our Americas.
Some established men, some elegance over there. No, I don't know, but Team Liquid, Team Falcons still looking for some major pop-offs elsewhere, guys. That Apex Legends Gundam collab has been super cool, and we partnered with Bandai Namco to create Gunpla models kits after some of our legends. The in-game event might be over, but don't worry, you can still enjoy the Gundam Gunpla crossover. Head over to playapexshop.com and check out these sweet limited edition model kits inspired by legends Crypto, Valkyrie, and Alter. So here's the cool part, Jamerson, because you're going to be like, I want one. And honestly, me too. And we're giving away 2 of them over on Play Apex Esports on Instagram. Head over to the channel and comment for your chance to win the Crypto or Alter colored Gunpla. No purchase necessary. Full reels and eligibility are over on our ALGS website. Sorry, how do you get that last part in? Go.
No, I definitely want that Epion so bad, because you have to remember, right? It's Epion. It's actually, you're getting your value for it if you get that Epion. It's 2-in-1 because it's a transforming one. It turns into like a 2-headed dragon bird thing in its flying mode. It's super cool. I swear it's super cool.
It's super cool, guys. Go ahead, run over to social media right now. I'm going to give you guys a quick break before we jump back into the action. So go enter the giveaway. Play Apex Esports on Instagram. We'll see you on the other side.
Red Bull is giving wings to the ALGS and the Apex community.
Red Bull gives you wings.
the Apex Legends Global Series, where we are cruising through our America's day one of year 6 right now. It's gonna be me and Tiff here walking you through all the action of match number 3. And we've seen already only 2 matches in Tiff. I'm not gonna lie, we've seen a lot of consistency out of S2. They're really impressing me today.
Yeah, I'm going to completely agree with that one. They've been incredibly impressive, like you said, and I can't wait to see more out of them. Of course, we've only had 2 matches done and dusted for Stormpoint, with the final one being here. If you prio'd your POI draft for this, get your points. Get your points, and see you later, Alter.
You know, and you guys were talking about that in the second match. That's already one of the stark differences between what we saw in EMEA and how long Alter was able to survive through the series versus what we're now getting here out of the Americas. Not only is Alter no longer in play, but Caustic was that first ban. So now we are going into our third match, our third and final match out here on Stormpoint, like you were just saying, and I'm interested to see what happens next with our legend bans.
Look, Alter was usually banned relatively quickly. It happened in EMEA, but it wasn't on the match day. But in terms of scrims, it's usually Alter, it's usually Caustic within the first 2. So that followed trend just flip-flopped a little bit, but that's okay because you still have Newcastle in play. You still have Caustic, and that's going to be really prevalent here for a lot of our teams that need those bubbles for rotation, for end games, and Newcastle players that have to use the wall to make spaces that aren't typically playable. So we've seen the northern zone, we've seen a launch pad zone. Give us something where we have to go to the trenches in North Pad, and not because I just want to see how the Falcons do if we get a zone that pulls over there, but it's menacing. It's crazy to play.
What are you manifesting right now?
Just madness is what I'm manifesting. I woke up on the wrong side of the bed today, Glitter, and I want chaos.
I literally thought you were gonna say like Cenote just to see what S2 could do with that, but
nah,
what do I know?
I'm leaving S2 alone. They'll figure it out. They're finding themselves in endgame positions where it's the fact that I had actually forgotten about them in match number 2. We cut over to their POV and I'm like, S2, they're stacked, they're in a good position. Why am I not surprised? How did I forget about them for the time being? It's because they can fly under the radar. I don't know how Zach is getting this team into like these crazy positions because we're not necessarily following their rotation because there's so many other teams to look at that are fighting mid-map, and then S2 just pops up and they're like, got God spot.
I mean, he does it every time, and this is the type of thing that all these teams are going to need when it comes to being able to get the types of scores in the overall sense that they're looking to get, because that consistency and getting themselves into end game situations is just one piece of the very important puzzle. Then it's about, you know, converting on the KP and being able to close out those wins as well, but already starting off really strong.
Yeah, they just need to keep doing a little bit more of that, right? And as we kind of pull up Team Liquid's Panic here, a lot of people have been talking about him. Well, you know, he loves his crumble cookies, doesn't really like leg day. Sykes made him puke. Look, Sykes had started his gym grind, what, maybe like a year and a half ago? And I guess Panic, when he joined Team Liquid, just got drugged straight into it.
I mean, it's team bonding exercise, right? That's what it is.
Bro. I'm scared. I'm scared of those boys, but good look into their team and some stats. Obviously, they've had 11 kills, which is like 5th overall in comparison with the rest of the teams in the lobby. Not bad, honestly. And I was trying to pull up the series results of where they've actually fallen with these statistics. They're situated in 6th overall on the day. So to kick things off, just outside the top 5 with 4 maps to go. Keep in check with that. The biggest issue here is you're 16 points back from the lead, which is that a big issue when an average win is north of 20 points?
Well, that's because that first game essentially didn't do anything. Match 2, totally different performance for them, right? Like they come back, they are now on the first page of the overall series results, able to get that KP on the board, but a lot of those positive stats that we're looking at are from match 2. 9 kills out of their total 11 are from match 2. So it's just about finding that balancing act for them right now. And obviously we were expecting any of the teams that made roster swaps during the off season to just be the smallest bit of a question mark, and they always are. People need to find their rhythm. things play differently. Like we talk about all the time, like the players point out all the time in scrims versus when we're finally here in Pro League. And so everyone is kind of figuring out what the lobby looks like.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, honestly, we heard from Blast earlier at the end of match day number 1 for EMEA, and he was like, look, we want to be more proactive. We weren't exactly as proactive as we thought we were going to be, and those are some of our things that we're going to work on. But he thinks that teams that are maybe like new to Pro League need to focus on the flexibility. 100% good things. And when you look at kind of this year as a whole, we have a lot of teams where you see new names and maybe we're not as familiar with them. We're used to just kind of some like shuffling of roster mania, but it's just swapping out one fragger for another fragger that's been established. It's like, no, we finally have a year where you're seeing names that have come up from the tier 2. And I think the ALGS Open last year in New Orleans really spawned this.
100%. And, you know, we touched on it at the beginning of the show just for a second. We're also, the players are now forced to stay in these rosters that they've chosen for a much longer time. They have to settle in and they have to figure out how to work together as a team.
Get comfy.
Until after match day 6, if that's what they want to do. They decide to make any sort of a roster change. So it's a very different ALGS experience for all of these players across the board this year.
Look, and even then, I kind of added this tidbit into it. If you want championship points to go for a certain team, you have to play 12 total match days with that team for your points to count for championship points. So last year we had some crazy shufflings and people trying to take their, you know, their champs points with them. It was almost like a bartering tool. It's like a wedding dowry. It's like, oh, I come with this many points. Oh, nah, not today. Not in year 6, baby. You want to go to Sapporo, you better earn your way with that team. You got issues, work it out.
You know, I kind of love that we're not showing up week to week with the potential of there being different players on different teams that we just saw playing with a roster that was entirely different the week before. The stability is important, and I think it's really going to force them to flesh out any issues really early on with these rosters as they learn to play together for a much more extended period of time, as we finally have our players locked and loaded and are ready to dive into match number 3.
Oh, baby, get us into it. I'm ready. I'm so ready. I don't know where we're going. I'm just here for a good time. Our last match in the Americas of Pro League Day 1 on Storm Point. Clarification down on Storm Point, because we're going to E-District after this.
Oh yeah, we still have a whole second half of the day. And it's gonna spice things up being an E-District with no altar, which was opposite of what we saw in EMEA earlier on in the play day. So now we get to hop on board. Huh?
Oh, wait, we already lost her. My bad. Match number 2. I was like, wait, who are we losing now? Looks like Newcastle with 11 picks on game number 3. So we've lost out on Caustic early on, Alter, and now Newcastle joins the fray. So those resets and those walls that we've been witnessing, you're not getting those for E-District.
Gibraltar has survived those, so at least those bubbles will be an option if people need them. So that'll be interesting to see how it really works on E-District, or if they even really don't need them at all because there's of the way that the map plays. But for now, they at least can use both of the big boys that are left on the final Storm Point map. And we get a pylon ring right now. Elite Esports are looking comfortable.
Yeah. I'm feeling good about that. Well, so here's the deal. We saw what Ninjas and Pyjamas could do in game number 1 when that circle pulled up north towards them, right? Can Elite Esports have some of that same success? Because I think that just goes to show a lot about your conversion and what you can grab, because not only that, but they got 13 kills Ninjas and Pyjamas did when it came to them. So Elite Esports, you've got Ring Console. You know it's dropping onto your face. What do you do about that? Where do you set up? Do you want that high ground, right?
This will be interesting because you can see Thuggets wouldn't have had the information that they needed, so they're making a little bit of a rotation here, but are close enough to where the ring's about to be to get themselves somewhere safe. We also had a couple more teams down at the bottom. I believe you had HUSS over there, Stallions making a rotation, as we are now checking in with their POV to see what they're going to be doing with this car. And it looks like that they recognize a lot of people are moving in from this west side, pick up a little bit more loot and play this a little bit safer, but this the bubble rotator it's gonna keep them alive for now.
For now. But I'm looking at this as like the pineapple of death, because the last time I saw this, someone got annihilated early, and Stallions can't really afford that because we're situated at 0 points and 19th place right now for the day. So if we're going to turn this series around, this has to be the match that you do so. And having the Trident and lurking around Barometer is all fun and games, but when knowing Team Liquid does get Barometer for their starting POI, they have a ring console there, and they're likely looking to move.
Oh. Oblivion here.
Also on the move.
Yeah, trying to see if they can maybe pick up some KP on this rotate. They see the bubble was popped in the far back. Trying to do a little bit of poke damage here onto Flat, who have set up camp, trying to decide how they want to handle this fight. And depending on how long this goes for, it could draw a little bit of attention.
Yeah, definitely a force bubble, because we saw they were Oblivion basically shot one of them out of the sky. So they've hit the bub, they get a reset, and now this angles Oblivion to basically swarm them. When you head back to Pylon, we talked about it, Elite Esports on 9 points through the series thus far. Where would they immediately like to set up inside of Pylon? You grab high ground, right? Sure, with everyone already making their way into this vicinity of the HUSS, Thuggets, Stallions have already entered into Pylon. Maybe take an early fight, but probably not. You're not going to get away with it because you'll get thirded.
Had a quick little overview of the setup that everybody had in Pylon as we now get to check in with Source Gaming, seeing how this fight could potentially unfold here with Liquid.
Oh, Source Gaming. Okay, through the door we go. You smoke it on out.
No way.
Hey, Thread some Mark Stars up there. Team Liquid, this is where we want to see Panic absolutely put on a play, because you cannot allow Runix to pop through the window, deal that much damage, take down Zero like that, and break it down. It turns into a 2v3. We get the trade coming through, and Sykes with an alternator in hand, maybe making this work. No, Team Liquid broken down by Source Gaming. None of them fold, getting a clean setup after that.
That was such a well-orchestrated push on behalf of Source Gaming. The angle through the window, the surprise burst of damage to even start that fight, and the decisiveness with which they made their move. There was no, you know, dilly-dallying outside of the building. Do we go in? Do we not? They all moved in as this just trio of a wrecking ball and completely eliminated one of the heaviest hitters out of the lobby first in this match. I mean, that was impressive.
You know, sometimes this is where I wish we did listen-ins, where we went to the team where they could break down what happened after a fight that might not have gone their way, but I digress. Team Liquid still gonna be outside the top 5, and that's okay, because the Falcons are looking to break in it. And I just saw the word bamboozled, which means there's a Mirage in the lobby, which means men of culture are getting crazy.
Here to see what they're able to do with the Mirage. Falcons up here trying to do a little bit of poke damage. How with that 30-30 in his hands. Honestly, they've set up in a pretty comfortable spot right now. They can just kind of farm up those Evos and guard their position for now while everybody else is kind of panicking, still looking for a spot.
Too Many Cheaters is the one that's playing Mirage, by the way. So chat, if you found your new supporter, go ahead. Support that man for playing Mirage in a Pro League lobby. And Source Gaming, victory. After that Team Liquid fight, they get into the Trident. They have to find a way in. They carve up towards the north. They recognize immediately that there's plenty of people in that space towards Cedo. You're not going to get access to this ring console if you wanted it. There we are. There's our Mirage player right there on the outskirts.
Beautiful. Comfortable. They've got some cover to work with. They know that there is at least one team pushing in that they've got their eyes on right now. Meanwhile, we're taking a look at this map. Falcons moving through Cedo. Source chasing Men of Culture away, forcing them to go for a much wider wrap than they probably would have initially wanted to go for, which did open up the door a little bit for Falcons to move through untouched. So this will be interesting to see if Source decides to continue hunting down the teams that they come across.
I love that we're talking about that, because my brain immediately just goes to S2. they're still the furthest north. And I'm gonna blink and they're gonna be in God's spot. So I need to make sure, I gotta pull up that map view or the multi-view, my apologies, and just put it onto S2 at this point.
I know, this is gonna be a tough rotation for them to get into any sort of like usable space. There are so many chokes that already have teams in them that they're going to have to be moving through. So it could be a little bit scary. You could see that Source Gaming had moved out while S2 was moving towards Nice Guys and NIP, who we're checking in with right now. So this could be potential for a little bit of a fight here. We'll have to see how they decide to handle it.
Ooh, I'm hoping for a fight. Sorry, I just pulled up Greek's power rankings from the B stream, and I just want to let you know, Falcons 1, Liquid 2, S2 3. So real, recognize real on the S2. I'm gonna ignore the Falcons and Liquid for now. Prove me wrong.
That's what we got the whole split for. We need to see that consistency as we get to take a look at Legacy now. That Hemi in the hands of Jaguares. They actually have managed to kind of give themselves a little bit of space here on the outskirts. That Newcastle wall also helping create a little bit of additional cover, but people know where they are, so they are not entirely safe.
True. For Oblivion, you know, they got in, they got some space. They're gonna hold on to it. Relatively naked triple take with a red dot that we're swapping from through and through. It's okay, because it's still gonna hit hard. I just looked at the map feed. I actually, you can hate me for saying this, I like where Stallions are playing.
Wait, why would I hate you?
I don't know. It could be a hot take. It's on the edge of the next circle, but it's in.
But Pylon's already so jam-packed that I don't blame them. It's giving them some information, some angles on everyone who is dead center of Pylon. It also allows them to be paying attention to the two chokes that are on the eastern and southern edges of the ring and pay attention to anybody that might be rotating through there. And you wanted to see what S2 were doing. Well, now we get a chance to check in with them as well. They're still on the northern side and they run straight into Men of Culture. Their bubble has to come out in order to survive, and this is going to be a tough spot.
And there goes a Maggie ball. Men of Culture are just gonna feast upon S2. To be fair, S2 was riding on a vehicle that just was very not good. But the fact that S2... Wait.
No way.
Are we surviving? Are we surviving this?
No
We're running
way.
away. Okay, there goes Carter. Zach is barely alive. He throws the bub. We don't survive this.
No, they don't. But while this is happening, because Men of Culture committed so hard to this, they're now stuck taking damage from the ring, and they got hunted down by Nice Guys. Perfect third-party opportunity for Nice Guys, but are they going to be able to survive it?
I don't know, but you've got to go on any opportunity you can at this point, right? You've got 6 points on the day. Vecchi over there. I see that health ticking. Okay, we got a syringe off. Do we get another one? Did that give you enough chance to throw a med kit down? This is where your timing is going to come down on the wire, but we are so far north in Cascade. The quality of what you have in terms of loot economy better be sky high.
That was a risky push. Nice Guys do decide to dip out with one surviving on Men of Culture. We'll have to see if they're able to now get back up to a 3 as a result of that. We saw NIP there for just a second. We get to see what this means for their rotations. Nice Guys will be able to make their way safely in, at least to not be taking any ring damage, but I don't know how much safer it's going to get than that.
No, it doesn't look too good. I'm not going to lie. And remember when I said I liked Stallions playing position? Now the circle pops up to the north. This one should be tough, to say the least. A little painful. A little pain and suffering, but it's okay because we're looking for some points, and the Stallions can do it. I was gonna say the Falcons. The Falcons also need points. Let's be real.
It's gonna be a very, very congested choke. That Oblivion, to be fair, has been sitting in for the last like 2 rings, so they were able to grab some of the only available playable buildings on that side of things. Meanwhile, Men of Culture are finally eliminated, unable to survive. Yeah. As the solo, as we get to see back again with NIP, what they've got going on here in this building. And right now, Kiriv's taking some damage. You've already got Cole down. It's all up to Vayne.
It is. Thuggets have fallen elsewhere, and here comes the drop on to Ninjas in Pyjamas, the final nail in their coffin, and it's the free thinkers who have cleared out that side, and from now can loot the spoils of victory there and rotate forward. Team Falcons into 10th place on the day thus far. We're kidded, okay? We're kidded, but we have to get through this side into Pylon. And when you've got Legacy, you've got Flat, and they're on either side of this fence, which one do you commit to?
And it's, you know, it's not even like they know which team is on which side. And if they go dead center, you've got Oblivion looking right at that gate, waiting to see if anyone is coming through. So this is definitely a rough spot, especially with no Valk at their disposal here. So Team Falcons might be fighting for a little bit of position, which could open up an opportunity for any of those squads to third party. Meanwhile, some massive cracks coming through. We're on with Source Gaming now, trying to see if they can maybe claim this building.
And they're trying to take it from HBM if they can. It has to be quick because we still have to go further up north. They do, they wipe it, we move on forward. Nice guys have also fallen in the time being, and this is where you've stayed super healthy. We turn our attention towards the north, where Falcons have actually waited and have set their sights onto Flat because both of the teams on the outsides had to rotate in as well. They jump on it, they capitalize, and they grab 3 KP from it.
It's big for Falcons. Legacy has already moved in, so this could be the next team within the crosshairs of Team Falcons. It's looking like they are looking to get a little bit aggro, maybe capitalize off of the momentum they just had after they took out Flat. Oblivion obviously still in this vicinity as well, but all 3 of these teams no longer safe. They will eventually all have to move, so this will be interesting to see the timing at which all of these squads decide to do so.
I'm just curious, does Waltzy have EMP? I saw Guild has Wall, so know that that's available for you on that rotation if you need to carve it off and let Oblivion and Legacy fight, and you maybe throw some damage down and try to pick up KP as you move forward. But at least Stallions, we're getting closer to that territory of where we need to be in terms of getting into the final circle over there. You've got Donut Shot, full 11, HUSS already there, but Source Gaming at the far back is going to be a huge threat.
Stallions able to do some poke damage as teams are starting to have to cross in front of them. Skittlecake's barely surviving though, just a shred of health, able to heal up inside of this bubble. The height advantage that Stallions are working with right now could be beneficial for them against all of these teams that are down there on the low ground.
Okay. I said a huge threat for Source is because basically they're just going to be throwing their bodies everywhere trying to get in, right? And that's exactly what Lunix does. He falls, Kate's to join them, and Source Gaming is out of there. Stallions hopefully grabbing a couple Zest Fest and Elite Esports. Mind you guys, Elite Esports started in Pylon. They had the high ground from the dawn, and they are looking to hopefully grab some kills alongside that journey. I want to see what exactly they've been able to do. They've grabbed 2 kills thus far.
Dang. Definitely going to want to pick that up.
They will. They will. Falcons set their sights onto Oblivion. Now, knowing that we have Guild with the Wall, Waltzy, I don't know what the economy he has there in terms of abilities for crypto, but you keep your eyes out on it. They've got to take the fences, and Hal's looking for that opening, right? They need to break the wall so it's not electrified, and you can slam the nades in there. Down goes Monsoon, and down goes Oblivion. And look at how much damage Falcons took. None.
That was definitely rough for Oblivion as Falcons finally get the space they wanted, only to then be pushed by free thinkers. So they're going to have to clear out just one more squad if they want to have a little bit of safety here. And all of this action will, of course, potentially draw some more teams as well. Donut Shop, meanwhile, eliminated a kill feed as Waltzy is staying above, doing some damage, taking a lot in the process. So Hal's also down, and Team Falcons are eliminated by free thinkers.
Wait, we gotta run. That's a fight I need to break down later, because you see Waltzy keep getting hit by the seer attack, and he can't necessarily push out and grab an angle. But that's one that you're going to come back to and be like, what just happened? Because free thinkers now get a reset and will have to push towards HUSS. How do you cover yourself? Because Legacy's on the other side, and they also are just about to be in. They're fine for now, but they have to keep eyes on HUSS and free thinkers.
That was definitely tough. Legacy also kind of tried to play a role in that. Moved in to see if they could potentially mess with anyone. Free thinkers turns around and instantly gets eliminated as a duo from there. They are now out, and HUSS has been hanging out down here for so long. They were the only team that was able to move in here early and claim this space, which is now going to pay off for them in spades as they have a lot of cover and no one's been looking their way when it comes to when the circle has been shrinking.
Okay, well, Stallions get into the mix on the above ground up here. Couple kills, the wall comes down, Skittle connects with the wingman, 2 bullets, and down goes Dig. Okay, can we grab Dark? Now this is where they're challenging for the high ground. Elite Esports, they spawned here in Pylon, and now the bubble comes out, they swing it, they chow it, looking for fools. One member does escape, but not for long, as it seems as if Legatron has picked them up.
Stallions have been making this work every single time we have checked in on them, and this is really impressive to me. Purple Slushee go out in the kill feed while we're getting that little bit of a top-down view here on the entire lobby as everyone is having to move closer and closer together. Legacy still managing to hold the western side of this circle, having done a really good job of not forcing anything that they weren't 100% comfortable with and maintaining some safe space for themselves. I think this has really benefited them because there were a couple scary teams at one point all along this side of the circle, and now Legacy owns it all to themselves.
All right. Zest Fest here. Kenzo, the Wraith play coming out. Pops down to the low ground. We're going to waltz it in from here. You see the snipes coming in from across the way. Could be HUSS, could be Legacy. Oof. But this is where you just start throwing down your abilities. The bubbles coming out to try and hold you steady. Give Jaguares the time to get a shield bat through. Out we go for some nades. And there goes some more ults. It baits out their bubble. And everyone from the inside that doesn't have to burn bubbles because they have that high ground until they come out. Kenzo, the Wraith, down. Gonna be one of the first ones to fall. And Legacy, this is where we start bringing the mobile shield because the bub is down.
I'm looking at Stallions to see what they're going to be able to slam down towards the end of all of this. Bubble back out on behalf of Yanya. So Legacy at least able to stay alive a little bit longer. Top 4 now for these teams. Stallions in full 11 on that high ground with HUSS and Legacy going in. Now Legacy decides to make the push. What is happening?
Look, Yozi's gonna try to hold down with the Newcastle, but you're right. Stallions grab the high ground. They immediately throw the PK. They're healthy. The bubs are going through, full 11 down, and there we go. The last bub there for the time being coming out from Alb to hit a med kit before the final battle. They're north of 7 KP. This is a brilliant play coming out of the Stallions, connecting onto Legacy. You're forcing the 2 teams down below and just making sure that you're doing enough damage over there towards HUSS.
Oh, and this Jenny is putting in work. It is just saving their lives on the high ground from any sort of aerial damage that they could have had to have been concerned about. They have the angles. All they have to do is clean up the final player, and Stallions are your champion for match number 3.
Do you love how we go back and I'm like, dude, Glitter, you might hate me.
Red Bull is giving wings to the ALGS and the Apex community.
Red Bull gives you wings.
Welcome back, everybody, to the Apex Legends Global Series. Thanks for hanging out with us after match number 3 came to a close. Impressive performance there on behalf of the Stallions. And now it's time for us to hang out here for our halftime show. We've got Glitter, Spider, Tiff, and Jamerson hanging out with you guys throughout match day 1 here today. And I am very excited to get into our halftime show because we had our wonderful guest in EMEA. We had Jayhawk to hang out with us during our halftime show. And we've got more fantastic guests, not only today, but throughout the whole split. Specifically today, though, we have Wyatt and DK Don hanging out. It's from the Apex podcast, guys. Hello, welcome. Before we dive into anything, I want to give you both an opportunity to introduce yourselves and tell chat about the podcast if they don't know about it yet. So Wyatt, I'll start with you.
Yeah. The Apex the podcast, man. Every single week we try to bring on somebody from the scene, whether it be from NA, EMEA, Apac North, Apac South. That's a little tougher for us, but we still find a way. And then we break down the games as they go along, as Pro League goes along, and then give some previews whenever we get ready for like a major event. So yeah.
Yeah, and for me, DK Don, co-host of the Apex as well. A lot of what I do is kind of like the research and kind of helping provide some breakdowns for teams. Just because I kind of have the most time, honestly, to watch a lot of the scrims and a lot of the weekends and things like that. So, but yeah, a lot of the big things I'll do too is around LANs. I'll do LAN guides that I post on my Twitter and Reddit
so
and
good,
get
by
that
the way.
stuff out.
They're so
and,
good.
I appreciate it. But yeah, a lot. Thanks, man. But yeah, a lot of stuff I do is really for the research part of it. And yeah, I really enjoy what we do. It's awesome.
I love it. You guys are staples. I'm going to gas you up for like 5 seconds because, I woke up this morning after missing Apac South and Apac North. And I was like, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to turn on Apex, the podcast, and I'm going to listen to their preseason and hear the curses that Wyatt's going to lay. But I'm curious, guys, what's some future interviews you got? You had Genome on there. You've ignored me for a while. It's totally fine. I'm not jealous. I'm not jealous.
Listen.
It's fine.
First of all, before we need to get Dan Gaskin on the pod. I mean, this guy, we have almost had him on like 5 times, and every single time there's something that happens. I've honestly said that if we get Gaskin on the show, I might just retire. Like that might be the final guest.
Glitter, where
because
is it? Where's
we've
the
been
man?
waiting for Gaskin for a long time. We haven't been able to get him. That's one I'm looking forward to in the future.
Okay, I'll see what I can do. Okay, I'll see what I can do.
Yeah. Now, us as casters, we're no strangers, to curses ourselves. But Wyatt, tell us about this top 5 S tier curse. What's the deal? Is this legit?
It's legit. It's legit.
The people out there think that I'm some sort of curse. I wouldn't say that. I would just say, it's hard to predict things sometimes. I throw predictions out there and, sometimes I'll predict somebody to win, LAN, and then they don't even make finals and get, 1 kill throughout. Or if they do make finals, they get 1 kill throughout the entire final. I don't know if that's me. That could just be preparation on their part. Who knows? I did put a lot of predictions on Shopify Rebellion last year. Not a lot of them went too great for me. But I did predict them to win the regional final, and I got that one. So I'm stashing that one. I'm keeping that one close to my heart. But there's a lot of people out there who think that I curse their team. I think I've been told by Shopify not to predict them in the future anymore. So I'll have to find a new team for that.
Falcons, the golden standard, not having the best of days today. I just want to go ahead and put it that way. You're welcome.
Yeah.
Don, I just want to get your quick thoughts so far on the day as well. I mean, now we're kicking off year 6. How do you feel about the Americas region?
I mean, we talked about it on the pod. Honestly, the depth we continue to see this region produce, I think, is something that's always something to admire. And I think this year specifically, I just think those A+ tier teams that we're kind of seeing, I know Tiff mentioned earlier about NIP. My big thing, I think, with a lot of these teams is we got 1 or 2 steps I think some of these teams can take to where we can really start considering them like the elites, teams that are always competing to win LAN, things like that. So I think that's just always something I love to see. Teams like S2, today already having 2 great games to start. I mean, they're rotating from Cenote Cave all the way across the map and finding ways to win games or get second or get third, whatever the case is. So it's I just always admire the depth that this region produces. And obviously we got the big names at the top, but you can't discount teams, 3 through 13, it feels like,
in this region because they all can compete at a high level.
I love that. I love that. Now we've got a little bit of a game that we have set up to play with you guys. While we get that set up, though, I want to first take a quick listen, a little clip that we have of the Apex podcast to give chat a little bit of a taste of what they may have missed if they want to.
It's probably PG. It's probably PG. You're fine.
If Hot Dog Mafia wins champs, for every kill they get, I will go live on this YouTube account and I will eat as many hot dogs as they got kills.
Wyatt, you would die.
I think you'd physically combust from that many shaboing boings in your system.
See,
I don't
you're
know.
saying
My body's
combust,
built
which
for
sounds
shaboings.
You're saying combust, which sounds fake. I'm saying I think this guy would be rushed to the hospital.
Bro.
How many hot dogs? How many hot dogs did you eat?
Well, luckily they didn't win. So I didn't have to worry about it.
Did they get kills?
In
though?
fact, I feel like they kind of
kills?
helped me out with that final fight. So that was good. But yeah, luckily I didn't have to eat any because that would have been really bad. Them making a finals lobby and then winning. It would have been really bad for me.
Yeah. It would have been. It would have been. But now we've got you here. We're going to be playing a little bit of this or that, okay? Pretty self-explanatory. I'm going to give you some options. You guys are going to tell me your thoughts, all right? Ready? First one, Skulltown or Thunderdome?
Thunderdome.
Oh!
I'm with Wyatt.
Split.
I'm with Wyatt. Got to go back to old classic Skulltown when you drop down. When the game released, 57 out of 60 players in Skulltown. It was an absolute bloodbath.
True. It was disgusting. All right, do I go the next one? Do I shout it out? Is this it? All right,
Go for it. Yeah,
double
go, why not?
Mozambiques or double P2020?
Easy. P2020s.
P20s.
Wow, no Mozambique.
Unanimous.
Yeah, I wanted to contest that one, but you guys are right. P20s, yep, double P20s. That's the move. Okay, now we're gonna ask the tough hitting questions. This one actually might give you guys a pause. Okay, so Rambo hot dog or Monsoon made?
Oh man,
Oh my God, you're really okay. I got to think about this one.
But we need like
I think I got a
Monsoon to death.
Monsoon made outfit. I think
Yeah,
I got a Monsoon
I
made
love
outfit.
Monsoon to death. I'm gonna go Rambo hot dog though, just because I
another
shouted
split.
out the hot dogs. I feel like I gotta go
it's
for
true.
it.
He was talking about eating hot dogs until he imploded, apparently. So I
have
mean,
to.
Thematically appropriate.
it
Yeah.
tracks. It tracks.
Pretty much.
It does track.
That's fair. That's fair. Well, I could play this game with you guys all day, but that is all the time we have for our halftime show. So Wyatt, Don, thank you so much for jumping on and hanging out with us during halftime. It was so nice being able to chat with you guys. And chat, make sure you check out the Apex podcast. Follow them on all of their social media. Stay up to date with everything they do. It'll be very helpful throughout this entire year. Guys, thank you so much.
Thank you for having us.
I think Dawn is actually watch partying right now too. Wyatt might be as well.
yeah.
I just want to go ahead and throw that out there.
Shout them out.
Great people.
Give him the love.
Great people. I think we met him in Chicago too. Honestly, Glitter. I think we met Dawn.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
We were running. We were sprinting. It was a lot of work. I was exhausted. Cardio's not my friend.
Good people, good content. Make sure you guys are following it. For now, we got to switch maps. We got to dive into the ALGS action we're all here for. Match number 4 is ready. Let's take a look at this POI draft, guys.
Yeah, I'm taking a gander. I totally am. It looks like Oblivion over there with 40th pick, Canal Plaza. It actually worked out for Pot early on in EMEA. Maybe Oblivion will have some luck with it as well. But some of our teams that have been popping off, Jamerson, I think that's where we really need to look for it. It's Ninjas and Pyjamas that have settlement.
Yeah, that's going to be a nice rotate for them. And if they want to play aggressive, I mean, this is the map, right, to do it on. We've got altars out of the way, so that's going to slow down teams a lot. We might be seeing a pickup of things like the Valkyrie to try and avoid a lot of these fights, but NIP might be able to continue to give chase because they still have access to the Mad Maggie, to the Crypto, and imagine they might be able to pick up the Catalyst as well if they want to have a little bit more control and staying power in the end game.
Good shouts there. S2 down at Old Town, so big rotations out of them. Nothing strange comparing to what they did over in Storm Point as well. So very familiar with having crazy rotations and still getting into some really viable spots. Team Liquid over at Galleria, which is interesting because Falcons have heights, so they're going to be rotating in from kind of the same area of E District if we pull pretty far away for them. Men of Culture at Electro Dam, who are looking pretty solid when it comes to a lot of their fights, and I would love to see a lot more out of them here on E-District. And if you're rotating around teams like Oblivion, Team Liquid, Falcons, let's get messy. But Stallions, we started out with them, obviously, because they won match number 3.
Yeah, and it was their ability to stay proactive. I mean, we were talking with Blast, right, during EMEA. You do have to be proactive in this particular meta, especially when you're playing something like the Gibraltar, which they were. They were able to get themselves the purple upgrade, which I don't believe HUSS had. And so that's a ginormous difference in power, right? When you have a Gibraltar that has a triple bombardment versus just a vanilla bombardment. So Stallions, with that position that you had mentioned, playing on that southeast side, were able to at least have line of sight on teams, get some chip damage off, and be able to secure that upgrade for themselves. Taking our first look at this ring, though, it's going straight down to S2, and I was a little bit concerned for S2 here because they lost out on the Newcastle, which was our map 3 ban. But now they don't have to rotate without a Newcastle, so they have the zone pulling down towards them.
I was curious though, because they do have a survey beacon down there, but their closest ring console, there's one over at Shipyard, I believe potentially one at Humbert, but we'll just go ahead and see, knowing that everyone is beginning to fly down south in E-District. Actually, does Source Gaming have access to a ring console? Because it looks like there's a survey beacon. Sometimes they overlap, and I don't believe so.
It's only survey beacons, and one thing you can do if you don't have the ring console is just delay that man scan. You wait it out until teams start rotating in. You have a fairly good idea that it is pulling down towards you, just not exactly where it is. So you can delay that man scan for as long as you want, and once the team rotates in, where all the teams end up kind of congregating towards, that's your indicator. That's where you know that the ring is going to be pulling towards. But for Source Gaming right now, they're trying their best to survive. Maggie Ball out, followed up by Lunix. Line them up, knock him down.
It's early fights out of them. Source Gaming, look, this is what I'm talking about. You're getting a lot of these teams that are trying to make a name for themselves here early on in Pro League, and this is the best way to do it. Take some great fights, position yourself really nicely, get into the top 5s on these match days. You're situated in 8th, and you have a couple more matches to make that happen. And running off some of these engagements off the rip, look at him. Future drops down from the high ground, Legatron to join them, and KJ is on the hunt. Can we get a good angle? Do we still chase this? A riot drill even to throw down as well. We're on the move.
Oh, Unix got tagged from long range, so that should be the end of the chase as Rails ends up finishing him off. Throughout game number 3, though, seeing Source the entire time while I was on break, I was chanting twerk, twerk, twerk. You know, this duo of Lunix and Kates really made a name for themselves throughout the open, and I'm so glad that they ended up getting this invitation to year 6, because this is the aggression that we saw at open, and I'm glad they're carrying on with this energy, taking that fight to Team Liquid. That's not, you know, something too many people can say that they were able to do.
That was crazy. That was crazy the way they broke that down. And sure, of course, you can see Donut Shop here on your screen. They get a couple KP out of it, but the resets are already trying to come through, and that you're allowed to do that this early on. But once all of these teams make their way down to the south, it might be more difficult. But for now, you have a moment to make that happen.
A lot of teams are now working their way into the zone currently. Donut Shop aren't deep within the zone quite yet, as most teams have made their way over to Humbert Labs. For Donut Shop, though, again, this isn't the typical kill composition that you see. Even though Crypto is still alive and you can run him here, they are not. So they're still looking to have a little bit of control, have that option to have the defensive legend with the Watson to get into the center zone if they need to play that way.
What just happened to Oblivion, aside from the fact that I just saw Panic's name in the kill feed and Oblivion completely dead?
I think that's just Panic things. I don't know.
You know
We're going to need a replay on that.
We'll take it. We'll take it.
Yeah.
couple kills go the way for them, and our first team out of the lobby will be Oblivion. Now, where Team Liquid have found themselves is pretty much center zone, right? We see the drones being detected, but that's okay because we have a drone of our own to look around, do some scouting. We see Stallions down below. We're going to hit this survey beacon and just get as much information as humanly possible because a lot of our teams still committing to Humbert Labs, like you said, Jamerson.
Yeah, we've seen in the past for this zone in particular, it has done that weird ping pong in between that center line that we have in the zone, but most people, should be expecting this one to go over to Humbert's. I wouldn't expect it really to pull over towards Flat or where Donut Shop where there's a world where it does, but you do have to play the numbers here, and so we have about, I think, 7 squads, maybe 8 inside of Humbert proper right now.
Look, we saw the same thing kind of happen over in Storm Point with Pylon, right? A lot of teams trying to look for viable space, but E-District, it can afford so many other areas because you've got high to low ground, you've got these crannies, you can play a lot of different spots, and Elite Esports, they're on the hunt, right? Immediately jump, but S2, the way that they've been playing, they start here. Sure, they're going to have a shield disparity, and if Dark lets this wingman connect a bit too much, it could spell disaster for S2, but they're not going to give away any free peeks.
S2 have also made wholesale swaps to their composition, by the way. They're on Wraith, Crypto, and Watson right now, so they don't have, of course, that staying power with the Gibraltar and the Newcastle. They're going to be playing this one fairly standard, and they have to be on top of their drone. They got to keep that thing alive and also getting information, which it looks like it is keeping Elite Esports at bay at the very least.
Yep. Okay, and here's a good look at them, right? You've got a lot of fences, you have your pylon, not really going to give any angles away on your pylon. You want to keep that up as long as possible for other teams that are on the outskirts. Legacy, Donut Shop, Free Thinkers. On board with Legacy here as you hear that wall come out. And you've even got the drone up in the air to scout.
Oh, getting tagged from long distance here, but still relatively safe for Legacy. Looks like Free Thinkers will go ahead and push them back, possibly into Donut Shop. Oh, they end up losing out on Gyose. Orange connecting with that one.
That's tough. That's tough. It's a really not good position that you don't want to be in, but you just have to keep tabs on it. Where are the replicators? Can you get your banner? Do you have a good reset, a chance over here on this western side? For Free Thinkers, though, we want to try and pick that up, and they've actually immediately grabbed the knock, set their sights onto the northern area of things. The ping comes out, they're pinging enemies. Do they have a rogue solo? That's where Seer comes in.
Yeah, that's the final player for Source Gaming, I believe. So instantly going from one ret to another. They were able to separate Legacy, but I believe Legacy got their res as well. So Free Thinkers giving Legacy some free space to recover. S2 now trying to make a play. Carter looking for the high ground here as they've completely pushed out of their building, looking down at Elite Esports, who gave up this position.
Crazy, but the drone is going to give you that information. Loader goes down. Carter's immediately going to have to jump onto that, but I don't think it's going to give Elite enough time to full send this, but we cannot take that damage. Into the void we go. Free Thinkers does take down Source Gaming, the last remnants of it. So we have 2 squads out of our lobby, and now we can focus on maybe getting some information and trying to get deeper into that circle.
Yeah, it is full on pulling, of course, over towards Humbert Labs. Elite find one more. They still need to recover Soviet, though, and we'll see if they can get that banner for them as they back away. Oh,
hold on.
Getting tagged. Legatron survives. That was kind of scary.
I'm like looking at what we have. 3 syringes. 3 syringes. We don't have to go far into the ring, but in terms of actually like healing up too much in terms of our white health, we don't have a med kit, no Phoenix, like we are chilling. And can we get the reset onto Future without being stared at?
I don't see a mobile respawn beacon for Legatron, so you have to hope that either Soviet or their third have one. But I believe the beacon down in Old Town was just used by Elite Esports. So full 11 are going to have their work cut out for them if they want to try and get their third in. I don't think they're going to be able to for the rest of this game.
And if Elite's used it and back up to a 3, they fly in, they could really full send. Full 11 for now. Little free cam, you see S2 grabs loader. Okay, look, we're getting more teams back in, but as soon as Elite comes through, they drop down into the chaos of E District.
They have some space though, as Legatron is trying to apply pressure. Caden down to about 45 HP. He's gonna get this bat off just in time. Elite Esports recovering here after getting their third back on in, and they'll get Dark back on to his feet. Fortunately, full, just not at full strength, aren't able to take advantage of this. It's just Legatron trying his best, but you can see there's not many options for him. It's just the hard light that keeps him alive for now as he tries to back away.
We do have a wall if we have to drop it down, but in terms of like resources, we really don't have a lot. You got 18 bullets and you're already 45 and 100 for your Hemlock, and knowing that you need a good team fight and an up on loot, we'll keep tabs on that because Legatron, he's time to frolic over towards zone if we can get there.
I don't think he's going to be frolicking long. NIP have him in their sights on a crypto drone. It's Team Falcons, though, they're on board with right now. Working their way south through Humbert Labs. There might be a fight over a bin. Yeah, we've got the Mythic bin spawning in, and so many teams are here with so many cryptos still alive as well. It's going to be nearly an impossible task to try and get it.
Full 11 down and out. S2 was recently out as well. I'm curious to see how we go for this because people are already there. Portals incoming. Everyone's trying to make a play for it. But we know the time that it takes to unlock that Mythic bin. And even with the Falcons swinging it and putting pressure there. Infinite ammo, though, in the hands of Guild is going to be quite nice if they do try to take a fight over there.
Yeah, they're just going to deny for now, but Duplex was able to sneak in all these raids.
There it is.
We're able to sneakily get in for their squads. Very nice weapons to pick up as well.
The crypto gets it.
Oh, I thought someone else was swerving in to pick up the remnants of it. But look at this pull. It's going to be going up towards the north side of Humbert Labs. You've got Men of Culture, Purple Slushee, Zest Fest in the middle of it. But Team Liquid are going to be the gatekeepers there on the south, and they're going to have their work cut out for them. They've got Nice Guys, Team Falcons, Stallions, Ninjas, and Pyjamas all down there.
Oh, God, and Donut Shop slamming straight towards them as well off a rotation. This one's gonna hurt because there's Donut Shop. I see Stallions in the distance, Team Liquid up there on the top, and everyone, I think we go down to about 8 teams right after this rotation, easily.
That's huge. Seeing the Wraith change come in as well. You saw that phase dome keeping Huntsman and Rails alive, being invulnerable while that Wraith portal is going down. We'll see if they can stabilize. Negative ends up getting a knock onto Nyanya. It's going to be a trade. Orange on the other side.
Yeah, Free Thinkers and Legacy. They've been kind of poking at each other for a very long time now. And Gary with the swing. R9 around the knockdown. The wall's already been out, and just like that, we get traded. Negative is the last alive, but we survived the Legacy onslaught. Donut Shop has fallen. Do we have enough time to reset, or is the third party here too late? Here's Splat.
Oh, that's so unfortunate. Flat taking out their spiritual brothers in Free Thinkers. And so Flat now clear out a huge amount of space for themselves. They'll be able to get through that canal and get to the other side of the wall uncontested, getting additional loot as well. They were not well looted before that. Kidnapped attempt onto Cole, but he just narrowly survives. Curve and Cole need to go ahead and cover that portal for now. But that was scary. That was definitely scary.
I held my breath for a second. I was like, is this about to happen? Dude goes down to 5 HP and survives that. For the Falcons, we're making headway, right? This one's gonna be more difficult, but what do you do instead of going straight north? You pathway towards the east, you play with some Watson fences, and that's fine. It's your building now.
You eat 70 damage and shields.
Sure.
With the Watson fences now.
Why not? He's like, I've had it with this building. What is this? This is where you really want the listening.
Yeah, there was a moment in scrims where they had difficulty pushing a Watson team, or there was a door that was Watson trapped up, and all three of them just kind of stood there. I think Walty ended up like throwing an entire clip into Howl or something. It was an absolute mess, and so you can see now. See, that's why you scrim. You got to iron out the small details there. Like, how do you breach a door when there's a Watson? Someone shoot it out. So see, that's why scrims are important.
Yeah, anyone take down this Watson. And some of these fences be very intricate, but it's fine. Team Liquid, though, inherits a nice zone pool. They have the high ground of it. A ton of people are going to want to challenge it. And of course, these riot drills that are just all... Hang on, hold on, Panic. You going to do some Panic things? We just needed one
he's
more.
creeping up for it, yeah. But he's caught on the drone. That's the difficulty here. Crypto being alive still makes it difficult to try and make these plays. But the presence is here for Panic. He's creeping up now, cleared one drone, and it seems like the skies are clear for Team Liquid.
Good, love it. Men of Culture on the other side, Thuggets as well. They're getting into the mix. Now, when you start to have your vision cluttered, you have thermites all around, there's piercing spikes on the ground. It can make things incredibly challenging when the Men of Culture have been so solid in their engagements. But this is where you say thank you to the people on the outskirts, right? Because Men of Culture are down, and now you can try to reset.
And that's a great time for Thuggets to be able to finish that one off, as NIP were lurking in the area for a third party, but they did not find that opportunity. Flat ends up taking out Ham, and again, working on clearing out their back, getting a free walk-in, but they've got to be careful. Elite Esports, though, they've got the pressure on top of them. You can see Albralele and Stallions looking for an entry. The nade's going in. Dig somehow survives, but not for long. It's just K to the left here, and that's the quick swing out from Stallions to finish them off.
I'm telling you, way too many nades coming out from the way of Stallions. But after their win in match number 3 and the way they navigated a crazy endgame in Pylon, my stocks in Stallions are on the up and up. And now that they've positioned themselves quite nicely into the next circle here with all of the teams like Thuggets, Ninjas in Pyjamas, Purple Slushies, Flat not in, they're going to have to jockey for space.
Oh, you're going to have to dodge these nades, dodge these hands, HUSS. They're going to lose out on Duplex. Jelly goes into the void to try to survive. Kimchi backs up onto the knockdown shield, and you're just getting taunted by riot drills, crypto drones. So many threats in the skies. Big fight, though, as we got an EMP here on the high ground. Flat trying to push this, but they get knocked up by that Maggie Ball. Louis somehow survives, but he's got to run forward with the ring to his back. Flat's going to lose out on QZer, but they've still got Louis and NanoFry up as NIP are fighting on the other side of this wall.
Purple Slushee, you're down. You go to the other side of the wall. The grass is not greener. We'll set our sights elsewhere as Nice Guys is the next team to be eliminated. Those Catalyst walls have cut off lines of sight, allowing Falcons to get the reset onto Guild. Now for Ninjas in Pyjamas, who are on the opposing side of these teams, have a free look at the Falcons.
This is a huge opportunity for NIP with full 11 going down so early on in this match. They're currently 4 points down. They've got a knock onto Imperial Hal, but can they bridge the gap here? They want to finish them off. Again, this is the aggressive composition. If Cole has his wall, they can try to push this, but they're not going to be able to. It looks like it's Team Liquid up top, giving them a helping hand to finish off Team Falcons.
I mean, dude, you might as well send a thank you note over to Ninjas in Pyjamas for putting that much pressure on them. They could not move, so the Falcons will take an early exit down in the top 5, and it's Team Liquid with this high ground that is allowing them to take so much space. And this is what Panic loves to do, right? Just constantly pop up from different angles and put pressure on these teams. 4 kills alone for Panic, and a big move up the leaderboard for Team Liquid if they can maintain this towards endgame.
We have Stallions and Liquid stacked on top of each other. It's going to be Liquid on that high ground. Up on the north side, Zest Fest facing off against NIP, and EMP goes down, but it's countered on the other side. So pretty much a wash from either end as he slopes, taking a lot of damage. Kurev now pulls the trigger, riot drill in, clears out the first floor and charges the second vein coming in from the other side, and they've got all the information. Quick kill out from NIP brings us down to the final 3 squads. NIP with the most space to work with here.
It's some of the same fighting that we saw with their win in match number 1. They got 25 points, 13 kills, and they're doing a lot of that. Copy paste here for the first game of E-District. Stallions over on the right, Team Liquid towards the left, and Ninjas in Pyjamas ahead of them. And Team Liquid, they're undergoing a lot of abilities, a lot of nades right now, and there goes the Maggie Ball, but we lose 2 in the process. It's just Sykes on the Catalyst. And of course, Ninjas in Pyjamas need to full send this.
They don't overextend though. They need to buy a little bit of time for Vayne to get his shield up. EMP on out will connect and slow down Cole, but he will go for that re-peek. The knock doesn't come through. Kurif somehow stays alive. Never mind, he falls. It's Vayne on the flank. Brings it down to a 1v1, but it's not enough. It's Stallions to take the back-to-back.
The Dark Horse going for a double down? That's crazy.
Oh, you're making me hungry now. But yeah, the Stallions secure that for themselves. That was great. They just bide their time. They just bide their time. But you have to give it up to Sacred. He's the one that created the opening for NIP to try and challenge and go for that peak. He ends up, what, getting 2 knocks there, and you see the quick push out from the other team. And of course, they reset, they bide their time, and then push out once they see the trades.
Yeah, that was really well done. I'm not gonna lie, out of Stallions. It was a cool play on that Storm Point endgame to come out on top in the pylon, and then you have another clustered endgame on E District. So maybe it's these really populated endgames that Stallion just thrive in. And to walk away with 10 kills on this one, that's what you want to see. 12 placement points, a 22-point win for that roster. Ninjas and Pyjamas, however, 16 kills. 16!
Yeah, that's looking like our what was it, game number 1, right? Where I forget how many kills they had. It was a lot. 13. I remember it being a lot. 13 kills in game number 1. So NIP not slowing down whatsoever, but missing out on some very crucial points there. Ultimately, with the back-to-back, Stallions now have a really good shot of taking the win on the day.
Oh, you're not wrong, but Ninjas and Pyjamas had so many points throughout that, and based off a 25-point game for them, you've got 2 maps to best them. You've got 2 more maps, Glitter. 2 more maps.
I mean, that was a clinic. The top 2 are teams that have both already won. Stallions get the back-to-back, but NIP slaying out in the process. Consistency on behalf of both of these squads on 2 different maps. I mean, this is what we're looking for. Nice and early in the split as well, as we get to see what that means now for our series results. Jamerson, they are very close to the top of the leaderboard.
Yeah, NIP came out the gate swinging. They started off with that Maggie composition. They're still carrying it through. In game number 1, we saw how strong that kill composition can be, and it's still proving us right at this point because, again, they have followed up with another great game, but Stallions now starting to find some consistency here are really challenging them. It's only a 5-point difference between NIP and Stallions, full 11 as well, only 4 points off from Stallions. So we have a 3-horse race to possibly close this out.
Here's the deal, guys. Stallions only played 2 games. They had 0 points after match 2, okay? the only 2 games they play, they win, all right?
Whoa.
You're right.
I'm sorry.
At least they showed up for the second half.
I'm sorry.
Wait, I had to go back and look. That's crazy. Wow. All right. You know what? Shout out to Stallions. And we're going to continue all of our ALGS action here in a second, but we're going to do something a little bit different because we have some new teams that came through from our opens online and qualified through to play in Pro League this year. So we're going to take now to do a little bit of like a meet the team intro to one of our new squads in Pro League. Specifically, that is going to be HBM. So let's take a quick listen in to their qualification moments into Pro League and what it meant to them.
I killed Bullseye. Oh my god, please, please, please. Oh my god. Oh my god, wait. Wait, did we? Wait. Did we actually? Oh. Shut up. Did we actually? Please.
Love getting to hear and experience the emotion of these teams as they're qualifying into Pro League for the first time. Perfections, Voxy Meme, and YNV here for HBM. Obviously, a little bit of a slower start here in Pro League, but that's besides the point. It is about just making it here, Tiff. Like, that is already massive.
It truly is. Look, and maybe with your match day performance, 13th to 16th to 14th and 18th thus far, that's okay. You've gotten those games out of the way. You've probably learned a lot in those initial moments, and now you can really start kind of doing some differences and navigating the rest of the lobbies here today. Congratulations. Honestly, that moment was sick. To have that, I love it.
Yeah, and I think it says a lot, especially about their character, right? That they're breathing a sigh of relief, that they're about to be thrown into the deep end. They're looking for these challenges. They want to be able to compete at the highest of levels here. I mean, and I also love that, at the bottom of the tweet, warning, breathing.
Yeah,
breathing.
We're human. We breathe. It happens. It's totally fine. Totally good.
No, I think that's just a very cute way to kind of get to know some of these new squads in Pro League in the Americas for the first time. So huge shout out to HBM on their qualification, and excited to see what they can bring to the table here throughout the rest of the split. But it is time for us to keep things moving here. Match number 5 is right around the corner. Tiff, we're going to send you on a little bit of a break. Jamerson, it is time to get into it. Back on E-District, Crypto now banned out. Not an action here.
This isn't going to change, I believe, too much for our squads, right? Everyone is ready for the swap. I expect a decent amount of Valkyries. We have, if a lot of our scrims would go to map number 7, Valkyrie has been a main staple of being most picked in game number 6. So I would expect that Recon Legend to come out for them, but also for our aggressive squads, right, that are still running the Maggie. Now they have the option to go for that Catalyst, which is also a mainstay here on E-District, but we haven't seen as much of.
I love that point. That's a good shout there, Jamerson, talking about that a little bit, as we also get a chance to obviously take a look at our drops, where everyone is landing. And now that we've kind of gotten a better idea of what our overall series is looking at and just how close our two teams at the top are, everybody has to have their eyes on NIP and Stallions to see what they're going to be able to do to close out the day.
Yeah, it's still extremely close. We still have, 2 matches remaining here. So I think there is plenty of time for the rest of the pack to catch up. Currently, Men of Culture, Flat, and S2 all within 3 points right now. They are within reach of NIP, Stallions, and full 11 to catch up to them. They just need 2 consistent games. They also need to prey on the downfall of teams like NIP and Stallions.
I think this is going to be a good final 2 games. We always know that, especially in match number 6, things get a little bit more chaotic, but right now we are settled into match number 5, our second match on E-District, preparing to see what our squads have in store for us. Checking in with the team we just spoke about, HBM, seeing how they're going to be kicking off their match number 5 right now.
Yeah, currently sitting in 20th place with 2 points. But again, this is their first Pro League day. Qualifying into this was already a huge accomplishment. They still have 9 other match days to try and catch up.
Yeah, and I think that this is probably a good time for us to take another moment to get to know them a little bit better, because Dio is obviously able to chat with YMV and speak to them about the what it's like, the thoughts about the pressure, the expectations, and the sacrifice on the path to even making it here in Pro League.
I would say it's a lot of pressure for me. I want to prove a lot of people in Pro League wrong, because a lot of teams do think our team didn't deserve to make Pro League. Hearing that, it's very hard. My team and me, we've sacrificed so much. We've missed family events throughout the weeks. I think we deserved it just as much. So the pressure to prove teams wrong and people out of Pro League wrong is very big for me. I hope we do prove a lot of people wrong.
I mean, that is more than understandable, Jamerson. It is so difficult to even get here. To want to then prove yourself at this level of competition, I am not surprised that that's how YMV and all of HBM feel as a team.
Yeah, I mean, we're competing in the toughest region, right? This is the Americas. We have been breeding so much talent. And I mean, if, of course, Champs was an indicator who had some of the most representatives in the final lobby. And so this is the meat grinder. This is where the challenge just begins. Getting into it was already a feat in and of itself, but now you find another mountain to climb. And I'm so glad to hear that they are ready for that.
Got a chance to take a look at the zone going northeast all the way up towards Electro Dam. Should be interesting to see what Liquid are able to do with that, as we are able to jump in with them from their POV and see if they are about to get themselves involved in a little bit of a fight here with Men of Culture.
They're definitely trying, clearing out level to level as a squad. Look at them moving as a unit right now. Okay. Never mind. Struggling on that as soon as I mentioned it. But yeah, they clear out the building. They're not going to find the early fight that they were looking for themselves. But Team Liquid are in that back corner, all the way on the backside of EDAM, similar to what we had before.
NIP, one of our top 2 teams right now, finding themselves in the next circle, ready to go, and just kind of trying to do a little bit of scouting. Where can they hold? Where is safe for them to claim as a bit of space, as we see HBM already in a little bit of a predicament, having lost Perfections.
Oh boy, they even spotted out YNV. Will be able to get their team in, but they are getting tagged up. Luckily, the Watson is still alive. Just losing out on that Gibraltar is going to be a tough task, but it looks like Blinkster won't be able to give chase. They'll survive for now. HBM are deep within, of course, the zone in the back corner there. There might be an opportunity to sneak in a res. Here's Imperial Howl, though, utilizing that breach charge to get through the hard light. Controlling space with that riot drill is forced back himself, as Waltzy now covering with the Seer from the other side. Connect onto all 3 players, exhibit down, and Team Falcons are going to charge forward.
This is a very annoying fight from Team Falcons pushing in on NIP. The NIP has no chance to survive this right now. There's just so much suppression from Team Falcons. There's so much ability to remove cover on the side of Team Falcons, and they are just deleting NIP with precision. Gil does get snuck up on those, somehow survives with a sliver of health and is able to back off.
Wow, Hal able to respond just in time to keep him alive. Where did Elite even come from for this fight? Falcons quick responses there will keep Gildensons alive and up as a full 3.
Very quick thinking, but that also did essentially save NIP. You can see Vayne down there, the lone remaining player for NIP, could potentially give them an opportunity to get the squad back up. Banners are in hand. It's all about making his way over to that respawn beacon now, and we'll have to see if they're able to survive. That would have been a successful fight for Falcons, though, if they did not get interrupted.
Yeah, they were ready, but now NIP have an opportunity to stay alive, and importantly, try to maintain the lead that they currently have over the rest of the lobby. But oh no, he's been spotted out by that Seer Q. He's got the Wraith Q to get out of this at the very least, and importantly, with the banner recovery, he was able to get the upgrade for himself. Now backing away. NIP still getting chased down. He's been spotted by Waltzy. We'll see if Falcons can hunt him down. But I think with Elite Esports still lurking about, it's kind of keeping them at bay.
This is exactly what Vayne wants and needs right now. If he has any hope of being able to revive the rest of his squad, you can see Alb up there on the bridge being a bit of a nuisance. Essentially, like you said, completely preventing Falcons from doing anything crazier to follow up on Vayne. Being a Wraith is probably the best case scenario that they could have possibly hoped for if they wanted somebody to try to revive the squad, though. So we'll have to see what Vayne is able to do with those Qs and see if he can escape here, as that bus on the street continues to be a point of contention.
If he can somehow get past Nice Guys who are controlling the choke of the Galleria, but it looks like he did spot him out, and unfortunately his opportunity to try and get it is just gone now, unfortunately for Vayne. So this is going to be a difficult task. He might just have to try and survive, but we still have 20 full squads, or 19 full squads alive here. Luckily, no cryptos, but you still have Seers. We still have like 10, 11 Seers in the lobby, so it's going to be difficult to hide.
The only thing that Vayne has on his side right now is time. Could be patient here and try and really wait this out and find some sort of safe path to get to a beacon. Meanwhile, purple Slushee and a bit of a back and forth. Lots of fences set up for some space to work with here on this low ground, but they do have liquid in the area that are looking their way. So just a little bit of poke back and forth right now.
The teams that were waiting for this next scan, for the Zone 3 scan, are going to be absolutely blessed. This one is not pulling up towards Electro Dam. This one ends up going western towards Canal, towards Galleria. A few options here for the circle to end, but that leaves about 7 teams there on the northeast edge who rotated in so quickly. This does actually create a small opportunity to for Vayne to try and find an opening for a respawn as teams start moving for the next circle instead.
Did you see how much health he just survived with before he got the bat off? Oh my God, that was so close to being the end of NIP, but Vayne lives to see another day as we get to check back in with Elite Esports and see what they've got going on right now. As Nice Guys are eliminated in the kill feed, Elite Esports are trying to kick off their own battle.
It's Source on the other side. We've got the exhibit down as well. Pal from range gets his revenge against Dark in this fight and is able to take him out. That's the instant thirst as well. Elite Esports only left with Dig vibes, and he's gonna have to back away. Now we've got 2 rats in the lobby currently.
That is Van Hal just absolutely spoiling any hope of winning that fight that Elite Esports has. They're going to have to be going to craft some banners and looking for a reset themselves. The Source Gaming are able to maintain that bit of space for themselves. This is going to be interesting, though, because we are going to see the circle shift soon, and I feel like a lot of these teams that have existed here on the eastern edge are going to have to make a bit of a move.
Wait, we had another solo. Zest Fest able to get up to a full complement of 3. Maybe even have the zone pulling towards them. They've got an Evo cache there, but it's flat currently in a fight right now. Louis has gone down, but he is behind cover. Nano has the riot drill if they need to deny some space, but it looks like this was from range, and so they'll be able to safely get Louis back on up. Elite Esports were able to get their respawn, but not NIP. NIP are now knocked out, and now they have to watch on. Seems like Stallions and Full 11 look to catch up.
This western side that Flat finds themselves stuck in is a bit congested, though. You've got Free Thinkers, Men of Culture, and like you just said, Full 11, all in this general vicinity, waiting for that ring console to see where things are going to shift. Full 11 have been sitting on top of it for quite some time now. They're going to be able to hit it, get that information, because the ring did move, and we're seeing where that is going to end up here. As HBM still alive, looking like they are in a bit of a tight spot, though.
Oh, Perfections. Yeah, bleeding out on the ground outside. Will get finished off. It was a nice Valkyrie rotate for them to get pretty far in. Hopefully they have another mobile respawn beacon to drop down and get back up as a full 3.
We're just...
I don't know, man. Well, it's so close. Like, you don't have the sight lines, really, right? There's so many big walls.
Fair.
You gotta move fast. You're gonna be fighting pretty close range here.
Go for the plays, the no scopes.
Please, yeah. Still go for it though. All right, they do have a little bit of pressure on them as they got tagged by that Syracuse. Yay!
Couldn't just leave it there. That would have been tragic. Now in the hands of Zest Fest. Like you said, they've been able to get themselves back up to healthy. And they've got some height, too, to work with. Free Thinkers in the area. Elite Esports not too far away either. But now we are checking in with Stallions. They are very far on the eastern edge of things. But I'd like to see what they're thinking here for this next rotation. So let's take a listen.
Yeah. Awesome.
He's in the building. Shot it.
Walked on.
He's in the building alone. Just run at him. Just run at him.
He's running out.
He's running here. Going over.
Run over. Oh. Running for it.
TP to Galleria.
No, yeah, man.
Crawl into the fucking pouch.
Am I down this?
You're gonna have to go into the low ground.
Yeah.
You have to drop down. Take port.
Can he drop down while knocked?
Yeah. I don't know.
I'm bled out.
Inside off.
I'm gonna grab him.
Okay.
There's teams in the choke. E-bank choke out.
Yeah, I saw. I'm gonna try to res him. Not that I see.
Jamerson, that was a tough spot for Stallions, but they were actually able to survive that pretty well. I wasn't sure how the knock was going to go, but they've got the respawn beacon right next to them, and this could be a full reset, loot and all for them.
Yeah, Source Gaming are eyeing it up, though. They are over at Galleria right now and starting to position to try and punish, but it looks like they'll let Stallions completely get it off safe and go for that reset. For Oblivion, though, it's been the slow play for them throughout this series. Now they're trying to capitalize here. They've made their way with the port now, trying to get past, I believe it's Free Thinkers above them. No, it's HBM. And so they'll be able to get out of dodge here, get into the center zone, but there are no spots available. Blinkster just noping out of there. We'll just get them onto the low ground, but this is not a good spot whatsoever. Spotted out by that Seer, does not take the port back, does in time. No, it's the rest of the team coming in.
I mean, what else? What are their options here? There's only so much space, and Falcons have all of these sight lines on squads trying to make their way in. Hal taking some damage, but having dealt enough himself is able to back off and get those cells off. Liquid eliminated in the meantime, and that is a big team to remove from their side of the zone.
Falcons versus Liquid finally comes to a head there, and Falcons needed that. Not just for the space on their side of the zone, like you had mentioned, but also just to catch up to Team Liquid and put a stop to any kind of momentum for them to try and build up in these last two matches. This is a huge opportunity now for Falcons to try and catch up. They haven't had the best of days, but they haven't had the worst of days. Still sitting at 29 points for them, so they do have the opportunity to catch up. But now we're seeing the large scramble. They're out of Galleria. So many teams on top of each other. Stallions up as a full 3, dealing with Elite underneath them right now. Decent damage out there from Albralele, and it's Sacred with the follow-up to get the knock onto KJ from Source.
A Catwall providing some limited cover for a short while. Now that everything is open, Stallions starting to put in some work. The tiniest sliver of safety to use right now, able to capitalize. Source Gaming eliminated, and it offers them a few seconds to breathe.
We just got Elite Esports going down to the ring as well. That brings us down to our final 10 squads. Oblivion, we thought maybe in a sticky situation down there on the low, but it's Stallions who try to pour. Oh no, it was not their Wraith Warlord. Wait, well, it was Sacred's. Okay.
It was, but Donut Shop just happens to be right around the corner that they ported into. They get, whoa, hold on. Stallions have turned the tide somehow.
Sacred.
Donut Shop knocked 2 of them. They take the portal back, able to stick at least 1 res. Donut Shop try to capitalize too late, and they die because of it. That was crazy.
S2 dealing with HUSS and Oblivion. On the low ground below them, they have a long run back. They have so much to deal with. Yet Zach Mazer does have the exhibit ready to throw down for this next rotate, but what are their defensive options? They have to have that pylon ready to go and drop down for themselves as Falcons. Remember, they cleared out that northeast side, taking out Team Liquid earlier on. We've got some Valkyrie rotates coming in as well. Thuggets making their way to the northwest, getting challenged by Legacy right now as Team Falcons. They've got Stallions ahead of them. They've got S2 ahead of them, getting some decent damage off. Guild connecting with these wingman shots.
It went from being just Falcons and Legacy that were safe to some big rotations coming through, and now a lot more squads are in the conversation as Falcons are taking the action to S2. S2 does get eliminated, and Stallions are just down to Sacred, also in the same area as Falcons.
Was able to recover them before, but not this time. Getting completely flanked here. Almost takes down Waltzy. but Stallions will ultimately fall. Falcons starting to pick up steam here in match number 5, picking up some sorely needed kills for themselves. See Thuggets, full 11 on the western edge of the zone right now. We got Legacy ahead of them as well near center zone. This Team Falcons currently fighting on the east, trying to gatekeep Oblivion, who are still looking for a climb up.
HUSS was looking to get a respawn there, and full 11 shot them off of the respawn beacon, so HUSS is still stuck as a solo right now, but we'll be continuing to look for that res. Oblivion right on the other side of that respawn beacon as well, so bit of a predicament there for HUSS. Meanwhile, Falcons have done a stellar job of maintaining the eastern side of this zone to their advantage. As I say that, HUSS is eliminated, and we are down to just full teams at this point.
Every placement here for Falcons could be crucial. The middle of the pack was so tightly contested amongst about 6 squads here. Getting up to 4th place alone might jump them up a few spots. It's Team Falcons got the ring to their back. No one behind them. Early wall out here from Gildersons.
Interesting. This should give them an opportunity to look for some damage. They saw that Sky Nade come through. Does not connect. But you've got Thuggets and Oblivion on the other side of all of this, looking to fight with each other, and Falcons are just waiting to pick them off.
Yeah, that wall does enough to isolate them. They've got a clear side currently as full 11. Legatron gets tagged by that riot drill. They find space to back away, to stay alive for right now. You can see the pressure being mounted on top of them. Full 11 back away. They get onto the high ground. They've got the angle there, but somehow you lose out on Soviet to the ring.
I think Legacy kind of messed that up for them, and while that's going down, Falcons are eliminated. Full 11 up on high, down to a 2 though, with no banner at their disposal. They're just looking to see if they can maybe take out Oblivion in the process, and this is looking like it could be Legacy's win.
But this is still a huge opportunity. A few more placement points, a few more kills possibly for full 11 to try and catch them up. But it's Legacy right now, putting a stop to everyone. Fun on the low ground for Oblivion, excuse me, will not survive long. It's Legacy who ends up the victor here.
They just played position the whole game. They were one of the 2 teams that had that northern side of the circle. It was them and Falcons for a very long time as the circles were starting to close. They did not force anything that they didn't absolutely have to, and I think there was a kidnap that happened with full 11 and Legacy, and that's what happened to put Legacy, or to put full 11 down to a 2, because I was watching on the map as well, and all of a sudden they were inside of each other's teams. So that's the only explanation that I could possibly come up with.
Yeah, still amazing turn of events here. Legacy had a slower day, but this win definitely helps. 7 kill points for them. That's going to be plus 19. That's going to drop them somewhere in the middle of the pack in our overall leaderboards, closer, I think, somewhere around 6th or 7th place. So this was a huge boon to really try and finish out the day strong in our final game.
I mean, I'm liking what I'm seeing out of a few of these squads right now. Obviously, our defending champions in Oblivion getting a 2nd place finish with those 10 KP as well. It's going to be big for them, and a little bit of a fall off from NIP, who was one of our top 2 teams heading into match number 5. So like you were saying, Jamerson, it was not yet set in stone. Everything was so close that depending on who popped off and when, things could change, and we are seeing exactly that with full 11 now leapfrogging NIP.
Along with Stallions. So Stallions with a current lead over the lobby with 4 points. This is extremely close amongst our top 3, while, you know, in EMEA earlier today, it was Pot almost running away with things. Now we've got quite the competition here for our final game.
Big climbing of the ranks as well after the win for Legacy. That bumps them up 9 spots. Oblivion up 8 after the second place finish. So we're definitely seeing a much tighter lobby here in the Americas, like you were just saying, compared to what we got out of EMEA for the first day here in split number 1. So I'm excited to see what that means for the last match of today's series. But quick shout out to everybody in chat as well. Start submitting your clips for a chance to be featured on the official ALGS broadcast. Okay, we love seeing all of your amazing clips, and if you submit them, you have a chance to be the best Apex play here on the broadcast. All you have to do is head on over to our Apex socials and submit your clip, and then watch the broadcast to see if you made it. Super easy, super simple, and I know Vicky has probably already submitted at least 12 clips, Jamerson.
Yeah. I mean, Vicky is just playing so much. Like, every time I log on and I'm on Discord, I don't think I've ever seen like her Discord thing saying anything other than playing something. She's just constantly playing something.
She's a gamer. She's a gamer. Okay, we've got one more match left in store for all of you guys at home. Before we dive into that, though, we're going to send it to a short break, and on that break, enjoy this broadcast community plays.
What's up, everybody? I'm Tank, and this is the ALGS Top 5 Plays of the Week. Let's get right into them. Kicking off the top plays at number 5, we've got ProGents with the charge rifle from downtown Charlie Brown. One tap, two tap, got the knock and the finish. What a shot. At number 4, Shuri Twitch in a bit of a pickle. Squad in the late game, hemmed in, but he's got a Kraber. Here's some footsteps right above him. Oh, one shot, no scope. At number 3, you're about to get a lesson in caustic play from Rhino Live. Late game circle, whole team's up, and they're looking for a dub. And Rhino, he's got the high ground, Anakin, and he's also got a caustic call. Knocks gas grenade out, and huge damage pours out of it. Oh my goodness. It's a triple kill. No, make it a quadra kill. Insane damage poured out of Rhino. Now he's just shooting fish in a barrel. Unbelievable stuff, but wait, Rhino's not done yet. Arc Star off the face. Give him another kill. Moves into the kill lead. And now easy peasy lemon squeezing. This little poor soul has no chance. Lock it in. Dub City. Rhino, clutch it up. At number 2, not to be outdone with the sniper rifle, we head over to Ketis. He's got a sentinel and a beam. Oh, one shot knock. Looking for more? Yes! Knocked. 2 shots, 2 knocks. Cruising on in. Does he have another one in him? Oh, no! Team wipe! And your ALGS #1 play of the week. Coming in from GMA, Sloppy Flap, gonna give you a lesson in Valkyrie play. Picks up an early knock, super low on the health bar though, gonna peel back, try to pop off his shield battery. Footsteps in behind him. Oh, baby, oh, he's getting tagged up, little spinorama. Picks up another knock, and now the Valkyrie with the movement capability is out. But wait, heading back in, wants some more blood? Yes, Team White picks it up. And a little cherry on top, pick up the res. That was your top 5 plays of the week. Make sure you head over to Apex Legends website under the community tab and upload your clip so you get a chance to make the top 5. If you'd like to see more of my content, head over to Instagram, TikTok, or YouTube at The Tank TV. We'll see you next week with another top 5.
Red Bull gives you wings.
What's up, everyone, and welcome back to the Apex Legends Global Series, baby. It's a tight race at the top of the leaderboard, so I had to jump back in and grab Jamerson before we head into match number 6.
It's 5 points, Tiffany. That's separating Stallions, Full 11, and Ninjas in Pyjamas right now. We didn't see a split. Like, I think there was like a 15-point difference between Pot and the rest of the lobby in EMEAs earlier today. But this one, it's anyone's game.
It's true. You got Stallions at 56, Full 11 at 52, NIP at 51, and then there's the gap down to S2 and Flat and Falcons, right? You kind of have that next little level of points where it's a 5 point separating between 4th and 8th place. So a couple of different teams here you've got to keep your eyes on as we get our players out of the dropships and get their feet on E-District. Keep your eyes, chat, on Stallions. Mind you, 0 points heading into match number 3. Go back-to-back on wins and are currently at the top of our leaderboard. Some say this might be the best team that we've seen Albon for, I don't know, some recent times. I will say that Skittle and Sacred are some solid pickups, and during that map, I did a little deep dive on Sacred. I was trying to get the Sacred lore, Jamerson.
Yeah, fill me in. What did you find?
Didn't find too much. He played the open with zone spammers. He's like 17, so he is definitely new to this level of competition. As we see this ring scan here from Legacy. Don't want to discount their most recent win with 7 KP. It was great, but I just was on the deep horizon. So if Stallions win this and we get a chat with them, you know that's what I'm asking about.
Yeah. Again, he's had competitive experience since the first LAN all the way back to X
The
Games.
throwback. We saw clips of Alb. Like we legitimately did in our most recent throwback at the start. Oh my God. Hey, can I have that? Yo, hey, can we get Nessie floats on the merch store? I'm not kidding. I want one.
I mean, you're about to take your son to swim lessons, right? So I think you're going to need it for sure.
For the next 7 weeks, that dude better be Michael Phelps, or you know what? I'm calling in Loba in a swimsuit for backup.
Training him for a triathlon at 10 months old. That's crazy, man.
We're winners over here, Jefferson. We're winners.
Well, we'll see who ends up winning this one. Again, hotly contested amongst our top 3 right now. Stallions, Full 11, NIP, and we have a Northwest poll going all the way up towards City Hall. Teams are possibly expecting this one to kind of favor that resort side. We have seen a lot of those buildings in HUSS making the early movement as well. Zest Fest making their way through Lotus, and every team is trying to beeline it to a safe spot in the end zone.
Can we just have a moment to appreciate the names of our America's teams? Thuggets, Zest Fest, Donut Shop, Men of Culture. I still think 3 Men's a little better from EMEA, but it's fine. I'm going to just give that appreciation. And I do want to give a shout out to Hank there with the community plays. His casting, top tier. It was fun. I want to channel some of that excitement. Channel it.
Who just went down? Panic.
That's okay. He'll get back up.
Speaking of Men of Culture, by the way. Yeah, got the TIFF buff there. Finding a member of Team Liquid out now. We'll see if they can hunt down the rest of the squad.
Well, remember, Blinkster earlier did say that he's unleashed. And this is not the same squad. This is the Stallions. This is not good. There's 2 members down. Can Sacred get out? Where'd Sacred go?
Where is Sacred? He's in Energy Bank right now,
he's
backing
running.
away. Yeah.
Run, baby, run. No, you gotta run, because here's the deal. Your entire match day is now leaning on Sacred with a white shield on the run.
He's gonna have to keep running south, but he's getting chased currently by Men of Culture.
And
there's still teams rotating in from the south side. I mean, that's how early on we are in the game currently. There's Source, Elite, NIP, all standing in the way of his escape.
That's true. That's true. Panic's back. I want to see a full reset coming out of Sacred. I keep getting it mixed because for some reason Panic and Sacred are like in the same hand, right? When Blinkster was talking about Panic at the top, I believe, of match number 1, referring to him as kind of like this like dog unleashed that can just go out and find those frags. I kind of think of Sacred in the same vein there for Stallions.
Yeah, it's a lot of the young blood really having faith in each other and confidence in each other. And Sacred has already shown throughout the series that he does have that dog in him. We've seen some great frags out of him. And he's backed up Albert Lately in a lot of these very crucial plays. So he's living up to it so far.
So that'll help out with trying to be a little evasive while you're looking for the reset, as we sit here with Elite Esports that also needs to get back to a full team of 3 if they can as well. However, they are definitely running straight after Sacred.
Yeah, they're giving chase. They've got the heartbeat sensor along with that Q. Oh, Sacred!
Go into the void. Go into the void. Look.
They force him off the crafter. They force him off the crafter, and they're able to craft themselves.
He just
Now
needs to go
they're gonna hit
hide,
it.
though. He needs to hide. Sacred needs to hide because we're not alone here. That replicator is going to go up like a little beacon. And if any other team are in a nearby vicinity, we're literally 10 HP. I see flat in a distance.
Oh my God.
Sports gets the rest. I'm scared.
Flat turn away just in time for Sacred to sneak his way down, but he's still not safe. I don't know if they've hit the survey beacon quite yet, but this is a scary proposition. Unfortunately, for Sacred, he's still dealing with a seer on the hunt.
Okay. He's probably like, honestly, spamming like, bro, get alive. Don't come over here. Play your game. Leave me alone. Now, what I want to see happen here is Elite Esports that are sending the duo out to chase. I want Sacred to run them straight into Flat. Because when Flat hits that survey beacon, he's going to see 3. He's going to think it's a full team of 3. When in reality, it's a duo and a solo.
Oh my God, they are all 3 now on his tail.
Oh, dang it. They're going to see 4.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't think Flat actually hit it.
No, the portal. Okay, we are... Okay, Elite, I get it. Like, we are about as far south as you can go on E-District. Are you tired yet? Do your feet hurt for the chase?
Yeah, I mean,
At
it's
what
game
point
6.
do you say no?
They need every single kill. You know,
But is
they're
it
currently sitting on,
worth
what,
it?
like 17 points? They need every single kill.
But is 18 worth it when you're so late to a City Hall circle? I mean, come on.
They're already late. They had to reset, so you might as well pick up whatever crumbs you can, right?
You
At
know
that point.
what? Why not?
Yeah.
Why not?
Team Liquid, like you had mentioned earlier, they were able to get their 3rd back in, and they're currently stopped over at Galleria, taking a fight up against Source Gaming. Exhibit is down, but they are just on the edge of it. Zero needs to hit a few more ultimate excels for this, and they do have it ready for him, so they're just going to wait out this exhibit and then try to take a clean fight with the advantage, with the information advantage.
Okay, looking for the angles. As you can see, Kate's, Lunix, and KJ across the way. Elsewhere. Wait, Stallions get the reset. Skittle and Al back in, and Free Thinkers have found another fight.
Oh, Source on the kill feed. They just got a knock onto Panic. Are they going to do it to Team Liquid again?
I don't know, but Negative's down. Guild Garrison with the R9. This baits out the Bangle to try and save off the high ground. This time, though, Source Gaming falls, but a third party nearby by Men of Culture take down Team Liquid. Back to the Falcons. Here comes the Maggie Ball. A little boop in action. No. Instead, it's Chaos. Orange in the corner. We're not surviving. Free thinking. Great. But we're out of here.
Did they need the ball? No. Were they going to use it? Of course. It's about sending a message. It's about trying to dominate the lobby as long as you can. But for Falcons, these were sorely needed kills. We were talking about how close the top of the pack is. The middle of the pack right now is extremely tight as well. Slowly but surely, Falcons are eating into that, currently propping themselves into 6th place with 38 points, just below S2, who are currently sitting at 39.
Oh, that's right. They're in that next layer I was talking about, that batch that's in like the 30s, and Men of Culture really trying to breach out of it. They're sitting at 39. That gap they have to overcome is about 12 points. Oh, here's a first strike from the first game.
This was the fight, Source versus Team Liquid, that ultimately ended up getting third-partied. You know, back and forth. Never mind, Source largely winning this one until the third party came in.
Okay, there it is. Zero. I mean, Zero's 5 HP. The third party just had to breathe on him.
Just a light cough.
Yeah, just
a breeze came in through the window and knocked him down. He was like a sickly Victorian child. All it took was a breeze.
Just a breeze. Carried the germs across the way. All good though. But this is what I'm proud of. Look, if Stallions come out victorious on today's match series, you have to think back to the moment of Sacred being evasive and I mean, dude, this is the definition of a survivor play, right? Outwit, outlast, outplay. You did exactly that. Put him on Survivor 50. Come on.
Yeah, and Elite Esports try to
Give him a
backstab them and collude with other teams with Flat, try to run them in there. No, somehow surviving. Sacred is, if they win out the day, you have to give it to them. Possibly the MVP of the day.
Do we have an MVP of the day? No, but I'm going to slap it on him anyways. But
Yeah, you get it.
That's if you survive and take down the win. You still have full 11. You still have NIP. And honestly, Men of Culture, if you put up a big enough game, we've seen crazy things happen where you're at 28, 29 points. Sure. still could be a question mark for the top of the lobby.
Yeah, Stallions aren't out of trouble quite yet. They need to loot back up. They have a lot of teams still on the south side of the zone that can look to gatekeep them. But, I mean, just having that second shot is going to be huge for them. Hopefully goes their way. NIP started the day off so strong. And now they're being challenged. They're at the top. Elite in a fight. Thuggets charging forward. Dig is left on his lonesome, and it's going to be Dan Matic to find him.
Okay, you immediately pop out straight into the open arms of Kaden, and he's like, I've got an RE45 for you. For Dark, though, here's the issue with all of this fighting, right? Is there was a third party. This was not an isolated fight. You have ninjas in pajamas that are looking to kind of soak up as many kills as they can grab, right? Thuggets take a loss as well, and even Oblivion was trying to get into this, but for now, it's ninjas in pajamas with a bunch of death boxes that they've just happened to prance upon.
Oh, shots ringing out. Kurev getting tagged, and it's going to be Flat that try to come in for a delayed third party, but you can see it's the full reset. There's not much they can do here. There's so much distance cover, and NIP are ready for it, so they wisely just back away. And honestly, it was extremely wise because Stallions were looking for a third party on this.
That's what's going to happen on the south side, and Stallions do need to take some fights and get some loot because they were out of a lot of it, right? Sure, you're going to have the shield disparity. You see over there, NIP, we're on purple. Flat's on blue, and to be fair, I think Sacred, you kind of owe it to Flat at this point for being in the vicinity when you were trying to reset.
Ooh, GL connects. They've got them cornered right now. We'll see if they want to try and pull the trigger here. Again, like you had mentioned, Tiffany, there's so many teams here on the south side. Donut shop not too far off. Nano ends up taking out Albraleli, and Flat instantly charge out. The res here for Skittle Cakes as the port comes out, but they are not in the phase zone. Do they make it? It's going to be an instant take here for Flat. They're going to go straight in with them.
Straight to Sacred. Straight to things that you don't want to happen, and immediately there they go. What's on the other side waiting for them? Sacred's like, oh my god, wait a second, this is way too many people. And Sacred's down, Alb's down. Where is Skittles?
Wow, Louis survives with 1 HP. QZir is the healthiest on his squad as the Maggie ball comes in. And oh no, it was a trap. Sacred leading out on the ground. Skittle Cakes will fall. That Stallion's gone as well.
And there goes the top of the leaderboard. I will say, throughout that portal, did you notice that Skittle on the Cat did throw piercing spikes onto the ground? So when they came out, assuming that they were going to chase them, which they did, they immediately start getting kind of like slowed and damage ticking. But here's the chance for ninjas in pajamas. They're 3 points away from the top of the leaderboard.
They just need to survive. Make it the top 7. Men of Culture, though. We're trying to find every kill on the server here, and they need it if they want to catch up. 45 points right now. That's going to put them about 12 points off from Stallions. So there is a world where they can do it. They just need to find more aggression.
They have 11 kills. Like they've already, they're already started. Okay, fine. You want a third of the lobby to go to the way of the Men of Culture? That's very elegant of you, okay? And ninjas in pajamas, we're not healthy. Oblivion have set their sights on them. And if they stop them now, then the next matter of business is going to be full 11. There's a good chance NIP falls here unless, wait a second, we see shots from another way. Flat's down. Oblivion still threading, shooting toes, trying to take down NIP.
Yeah, we want to talk about Men of Culture going for the toesies there for Oblivion. They do back away. Yeah, this was too scary of a fight. Full 11 had sights on it. NIP now looking to recover. Again, with Stallions going down, this is a huge opportunity for both NIP and Full 11. Full 11 would love to put an end to NIP right here. The kills alone would put them above NIP. Cole gets out of the zone just in time, but now he's in the middle of nowhere, and that's just an easy shot for Cody to hit.
Kurev, wait, did that respawn beacon just go off right next to Kurev? Because this is not a good landing if that's the case. There's Dupe right there. He takes the chow, and ninjas in pajamas fall. This keeps Stallions in first place, but they're not alone. Full 11 is at 54 points, 3 points away from the top of the leader.
closes the gap as well. 4 men of culture to try and catch up. Full 11 taking another fight now, charging forward with the Maggie Ball. It's going to be a counter Maggie Ball on the other side. The catwall slows things down, though. You can see Purple Slushee on the other side, just licking their wounds and trying to heal up and stabilize for themselves. Full 11.
Are we going down?
Have a decent amount of friction here to deal with. We got so many exhibits down as well. Falcons losing out on Gildersons here, as Hal will try and cut off a few angles with that riot drill. Watsy looking for that res as Hal is holding the angle for his squad.
We hop it. Purple Slushee out. We're going to get some more placement points slowly but surely for Full 11 and Men of Culture. And Falcons are trying to live and they take down Men of Culture. The comeback will not happen for them.
Yeah, for Falcons, if they want a shot at taking the win on the day, they need to take out Full 11, and they almost need the rest of the kills in this lobby to have a shot at it. They are playing pretty aggressive here. 4 kills for Imperial Hal, 2 assists as well. And they have a decent fight here. S2 almost sandwiched. Full 11 on top of that high bridge. Can drop down as Hal is still looking for these angles. The riot drills not quite connecting for them, but Falcons are currently the only squad safely in the zone.
God, safely? Like, great. I love that. Safely. Elsewhere, Oblivion, just a firing squad, and you're hiding behind knockdown shields if you can, or you've already evaded from the space. Waltzy pointing some shots towards S2, and Nice Guys trying to find a path in, and you've got to go through the remnants of Oblivion. You have Legacy, your last match winners. It's not going to be easy.
Cody, ooh, just had a small angle there as Oblivion do ultimately go down in 7th place. It's our final 6 squads, and it's full 3-mans across the board. Falcons, uncontested high ground here. Zest Fest on the bridge just to their northeast as Hal found a slight angle there onto a few of the Nice Guys on the low ground, but now Falcons are redirecting their focus to the right-hand side. And that's a good move for them because we do have a few fights breaking out. Legacy and Nice Guys on a northern edge.
Okay. For Falcons, I mean, we still need more kills. We need as much of this of the lobby as we can, because mind you, if you're trying to leapfrog into the top 3, we have to be into the 50s. And Full 11, they've done a really nice job. They're not going to want to hand things over towards the Falcons. We're going to try to be very evasive. S2 is still in it, as well as Legacy.
It's 18 points that Full 11 now are leading over Falcons, so I don't think they can mathematically overtake them. Legacy ends up going down to S2. Now it's a race between S2 and Falcons. Who can finish out higher on the leaderboard, while Full 11 have already secured the win on the day.
Really nice job for them. Now it's just all about how high can you get on this leaderboard? How many points, like you said, on the day? For S2, who's had a match win, who's been in that end game consistently, now into yet another top 3. Maybe Legacy wants a back-to-back win as well on E-District, or Team Falcons to find their first.
Falcons take the win here. They might actually get 2nd place. No, they definitely do with a few more kill points. This is a tense situation for all 3 players, or excuse me, for our final remaining squads, S2 and Falcons, but it's currently Falcons who are uncontested on their side of the zone. It's Full 11 and S2 though that have a lot more space to work with. You can see, yeah, they are the center of attention. The Syracuse coming out. Luckily for Falcons, F11 are not running the Seer themselves, but they do have the poke. They do have the riot drill along with the spikes and some missile swarms to try and poke at them.
Okay, there goes a wall. Shut up! Shut up, Carter! If you give a Wraith a Kraber, you find a CEO.
Full 11 see the knock as well, and they want to try and take advantage. They're trying to get the thirst, but there's a wall for Hal to get rezzed on. Gildersons gets him back on up. The wall goes down, and it's the counter wall on the other side from S2, keeping them safe here. But the high ground is working out so well for Full 11, but they don't quite have the angle there. This wall might go down before either team starts fighting.
Oh boy, let's get the thermites out there. Take down the piercing spikes. You're right, but it's full 11 on the high ground, looking for angles onto the Falcons because they have S2 right underneath them. It's making things difficult. Falcons have no choice but to send. There goes a Maggie ball. S2 is out, and full 11 swarm down, take out the remnants, and get a map win.
Wow, full 11 started off the day strong, with almost taking out NIP and S2 in game number 1, but they get the bookend. They finish it all off with the win, along with the win on the day. And that's amazing because we were talking about watching a lot of our squads, right, coming out from Challenger Circuit and really putting in the grind to get here to the Pro League. And full 11 now, they have a win here on match day number 1.
Look, you've seen so many teams come out of Challenger Circuit, come out of the open, and they can definitely crumble under the pressure. But what happens when they don't? And when they play exceptionally well? This momentum that they can create for the entirety of their series, of their first Pro League Split 1, I love it. I'm happy, okay, Jamerson? It's not very often that I say that, but I'm happy.
I think, you know, just like the last 2 champs, right? Everyone wants to root for the underdogs, and everyone wants to see someone coming out from Challenger and really put it to some of our top squads. So this is a big accomplishment to be able to take the first match win of the split.
Now, I do say, as I'm kind of looking through, Legatron did play in Split 2 Pro League of the Americas. He did, okay? Masters of Evil. So we've got to keep tabs on that. Not his first Pro League, but you know what? I'll take a match day win all day, Glitter.
I mean, still an impressive performance at the end of it all, because when we take a look at these series results, you know who's going to be at the top of it? It's gonna be full 11 by a wide margin as well. What a showing, and what a consistent showing on behalf of full 11. Almost dead even with KP and placement points. They were consistent about at least ending up in a top position throughout multiple matches of the day, if not closing it out with a win. I mean, this was a really good day for full 11, Jamerson.
Yeah, again, being able to see our teams that qualified through Open to make it here and get a win on a day, that's already inspiring. I mean, we were able to, you know, hear from HBM and what moments like this really mean. So I hope we have the opportunity to talk to anyone from full 11, because they have to be absolutely elated.
I'm elated. I said that so calm. I'm elated. Like, okay, my bad, guys. Let me try again. I'm so elated.
There we go. Wow.
And
but
it honestly ties in perfectly here to our Sodi and Zone kill leaderboard as well, because we've got Legatron in second place there for full 11. But at the end of it all, it is Sacred who's able to claim that top spot. Tiff with 18 kills. Talk about a day.
Yeah, that's a good day. Honestly, even just the play he did to get the full reset onto Stallions there in that final match, even though it didn't necessarily manifest into a performance-winning thing where they were able to top the leaderboard, a second, a third, a top 3, look, that's fantastic. And it's all on the kind of back of plays like this, right? Each of their players on the Stallions have the moment for those clutch-up potentials. We've seen Skittle Cakes throughout the years have those moments. Same with Alb, right? But Sacred, being that new young gun addition to the Stallions, look at that. See, I told you guys they didn't play matches 1, they didn't play matches 2. It's fine. But to be the kill leader, to be the kill leader there after 3 solid performances, good job.
The double donuts are right there, and you're absolutely right.
Triple! What do you mean?
Triple donuts.
Okay,
yeah,
but
it's different. Game 6 was different because, yeah, they were on the full hero's journey, all right? He accepted the call to adventure, right? He went through adversity, and he came out on the other side a better man for it.
He was looking for the One Piece. It's fine.
Regardless of the storyline that you attach to it, he still had 3 zeros and managed to outslay the entire lobby. That's insane.
Yeah.
In a lobby that has Imperial House and Zero and all these other incredible fraggers.
And Panic.
Yeah.
Kudos, because that means when they decide to play 6 full matches, or when Sacred gets KP in 6 full matches, that's terrifying in the best way for Stallions. I mean, massive shout out to them. And like I said, also seeing Legatron up there from our winning team of the day. Once again, just proving that while we talk about how deep the talent pool is in our existing Pro League teams, it goes even further than that in this region, Tiff.
It truly does. As we pull up some stats there from Full 11, I'm glad we pulled them up, production. Thank you, because I was about to go hunting. Look at the consistency.
Wow.
A second, a fifth, a fourth, a third, a first. Sure, that first match onto E-District, a 16th. That's your outlier. That's your worst game on the day. Crazy. And the rest of it, your top 5. This is why they're in that overall position. This is why they took the win today. And for this to be the first showing on match day 1 for Full 11, look, I'm just going to clap. I feel like I've been clapping all day because I'm just very, very like, I'm dumbfounded. I have no words.
And imagine if they had like closed out game number 1 better than they did. This would have been a massive lead. They would have had like 26 points, 27 points on top of the lobby. And again, it's in a lobby with Falcons and Liquid.
That's actually true. That's true. Like, Amia didn't play against Alliance or Aurora, right? Well, it's Alliance. I mean, you were throwing at that point. We'll talk about this. It's like, where TSM? No, not a team here. And where Alliance? Well, I don't know.
Talk about a way to kick off year 6 of Pro League. I mean, this is what we're looking for. We already know that the best teams in our lobbies exist. We already know that even if they have a bad day, it's very likely that when we're 4 or 5 weeks into our Pro League, that they're probably going to be in a comfortable position. Or if they're not, then they've got a very high clutch factor, because that's why they've been here since the beginning. But to see the other side of that coin and see new talent come in out of the open, qualify through to here, and then turn around and the first show day out of the gate, get a win, and a decisive win at that. It just speaks to how awesome all of our squads in this region are. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, now the issue is they've raised the bar for themselves, and they have to maintain this.
That's true. You gotta do it again. You gotta do it again.
They have to do it again when they're in a group that have the world champions in Oblivion. They've got NIP. They've got Team Liquid. It's gonna be a slog. But hey, starting off strong with the win on the day, that's gonna be huge. So you know, they could at least have that.
They can, and we're going to take a look at some of the Liquid stats here as well, because we were highlighting the addition of Panic, Tiff, and there were some bright spots for them throughout the day. Just couldn't fully find their rhythm.
Was today leg day? Is that what happened? Did he do
Today was a second crumble kind of day, I think. I think it's a second crumble cookie kind of day. You just need to eat your sorrows away.
What kind of cookies they got right now? No, I'm just kidding. Look, it wasn't a bad day for Team Liquid in any way, shape, or form. If this is kind of where you have your floor game, right, and it's only up from here, you take those days all day. You're into the top 10. You were in the mix. Sure, the Falcons were inside the top 5, and Men of Culture hit 5th place as well, but you learn from a lot of those moments. And especially when you had the team wipe and you have this crazy third party that takes you out on 5 HP, like, what do you do, right? Like, do you end your fight a little bit quicker so you can actually reset, maybe not have a knock? Those are all moments that they're gonna look back on before they go to the next match day.
100%. And we were talking about how impressed we were with Sacred as the new addition on Stallions. Yes. Not only the performance, but being able to be up there on the kill leaderboard at the end of it all. But we have Albrelelli standing by to chat with us after a phenomenal performance out of Stallions. Alb, hello. Welcome back on for year 6. Tell us a little bit about Sacred, the new addition to the squad. How you guys are feeling today?
We're feeling good, man. He's slotted in like perfectly for the role that we were looking for during the off season. And he's definitely like pretty much single-handedly added enough firepower to our roster to like take us to where we need to be this year. He's been like probably the best possible pickup that I've personally gotten in a very, very long time. It's very good.
High praise.
That's sick. That's sick. No, for real, though. I've read a lot. I'm chronically online, which is not good to say the least. But I've seen a lot of people, Alb, talk about this roster and say it's actually one of the best teams that you've been a part of in a long time, right? So I want to give a huge shout out. Your performance today was fantastic. What were the comms looking like though during that game 6 while Sacred was just running for his life?
We were just telling him to do everything in his power to live. Like any extra points we could get, we would take. Like 1 point, fine, whatever. Like we knew that the reset was cooked. There was no way we were going to come in on edge and get purple armors. Like we were just taking what we could get at that point. I can't believe Flat sent our portal. I can't believe that. But apart from that,
and Skittle had the piercing spikes there. I was like,
yeah. I can't believe
the worst part is that, like, because everyone's in the phase, you're just staring at each other and you know exactly what their intention is.
Yeah, we were in the portal and I was like, they're gonna take this, Sacred. Be ready. We're all dying. Like,
there's no like more way you can telegraph what your intentions are. There have been a lot of changes, right? We've had the patch earlier this week. What would you say are like some of the biggest growing pains that you've had developing as a team? And what are you looking forward to develop on and work on as the weeks go on here in Split 1?
I mean, the hardest part for us right now has been figuring out how we need to play into each individual group, as well as adapting to playing without a UAV during our Gibby and Newcastle games. That comp is super, super strong. I know we did really bad in the first 2 games today, but game 1, I just called us to play a really bad spot. And game 2, honestly, there's nothing you can do about that. You got 0 Sykes and Panic sliding into you with EMP Maggie Ball. You're dying. You're dying immediately. We had no idea they were going to do that. We died instantly. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, the hardest part for us right now is definitely perfecting our Gibby Castle gameplay. Skittle is like new to playing Castle, so he's got to learn still. Obviously, Watson isn't Sacred's most comfortable pick. You know, he's definitely a much better Wraith, better Alter, but he's just kind of slotting into the role that we need him on for that comp and just doing his best.
Which honestly kind of sounds crazy when you say it all out loud, because you're like, oh, well, 2 of our players weren't super comfy on some of their legends. Also, we didn't really have 2 great games, and we still had that good of a performance. Like, that is insane to think about, that this was the very beginning of the split as well, which we always know is like a little bit chaotic and not really settled fully into the meta or what we're expecting. And you guys just looked so good. So I mean, talk to me a little bit about just this season in general, how you're feeling looking towards the rest of the split and where you guys kind of feel like you slot in that hierarchy.
Yeah, I mean, me personally, I'm feeling extremely confident. I think that I've come a really, really long way as an IGL. I think I've got one of the best fraggers in the game right now behind me. And then I've also got one of the best anchors. They're both really good at keeping me in check when I overheat, as I have been known to do sometimes. I go too hard and swing things I shouldn't, and they reel me in. Overall, man, I'm just feeling incredibly confident. And I just know that it's only up from here, really. Like, taking a second in day 1 is incredible. We were shooting to try to get that 3rd win today, but couldn't do that. But I mean,
that comeback would have been wild.
I'm really happy with how we've played. Yeah, it would have been insane. If we could have pulled a first out today, I would have been incredibly happy. But I mean, I can't complain about a second either with how we started.
And we had the callback section. You probably weren't able to watch it because, of course, you were locked in for these matches. But we had a callback section to OT3 back in 2020. But you've been competing before that. Remember X Games? Like I kind of want to know, because I was reminiscing and I was like, oh, I want to see Fnatic back. I want to see Muffins, Shiny, and them back. If you can bring back any team, any players, any roster to compete once again, who would you like to see back and competing in ALGS?
Maybe not a roster, but I feel like since Jordan has left the scene, there's been a hole, like reps. I think there's been a little bit of a hole in the scene that hasn't been filled since his departure. Apart from that, I mean, roster-wise, like, I actually really liked the Retzi Senox Crust Sentinels roster.
Yeah, Sentinels.
Yeah. Old Sentinels was one of the funniest teams to watch back in the day, and they were the other at their
squad.
peak playing the Valk Gibby Caustic. When they're at their peak playing that comp, they're one of like the best teams to watch back then. They're so like, because they were constantly doing well and they were funny to watch. So they made VOD reviewing bearable.
I love it.
What a good shout out, Al. Well, we're going to let you go for now. Congratulations on a phenomenal way to start off this split this year. And thank you so much for chatting. You guys were amazing today.
Thank you. Thank you.
Oh, that was fun. That was really fun. What an incredible day. I could not be any more excited now for the rest of the split. Tiff, give me your final thoughts now that we've completed Americas.
Right. So like wrapping up that interview, I thought we got some really good nuggets out of Alb there. And I'm curious to see them develop on that initial comp he was talking about in games 1 and 2, especially if Skittle and Sacred both are not comfortable on the legends that they're on. I'm ready for that to kind of them to get comfy, right? The fast learning and that to really come into its own is going to be fun to witness here in the ALGS. And for that, I'm excited. Plus, guys, it's a double header. Okay. We got Group C debuting. So I'm going to literally go to sleep after this, log on in the morning, hit Multiview, get my Philip flops, and have a good day.
Dang, I can't. Philip, I can't do it. I can't do it. But you
come on, Jamerson, you got
Philip flop.
It's my warm up before I start yapping.
I think it's all of our warm ups now. That's going into the rotation.
Give me more than that for your final thoughts, Jamerson. Americas.
Oh, but final thoughts.
Yeah.
Americas. I think Hal said it on stream a couple nights ago where he said he thinks the top, the skill cap for like the top has kind of been brought down a little bit, leaving a lot of room like for the middle of the pack. There's just so many middle of the pack teams and even new names now to really shine. And I'm so glad to see Full 11 have the performance that they had, because when I was looking at scrims, I did not give them a second thought. I brushed them aside. But I am always ready to be pleasantly surprised and to be pleasantly wrong as well. So congratulations to Full 11 for having such an amazing performance today.
Love it. I love it. Well, you two absolutely crushed it all day. Thank you so much for lending us your voices. Chat, as always, if you want to keep up with everything that we've got going on all year long, just follow us on social media. That's at Play Apex Esports on X, on YouTube, Insta, and TikTok, as well as at Play Apex on Twitch. That way you won't miss a single second of any of the action that we have coming up around the corner. And speaking of that action, we might be done for today with the ALGS, but we're certainly not done with it for the weekend. Like Tiff was saying, it is a double header weekend to kick off year 6, which of course means we are back tomorrow with match day 2 for EMEA and the Americas. Obviously with EMEA kicking things off at 6 p.m. BST, 1 p.m. ET, and 10 a.m. PT. So make sure you are there. In the meantime, hop into some games of Apex to try out the new season. We'll see you back here tomorrow, legends.